Louis Cardinals, sizzling after that heartbreaking loss to Dallas, welcome a red-hot Atlanta team that they have beaten 5 straight times. And live, this is Minnesota's sold-out Metropolitan Stadium, where the Vikings, who finally found scoring punch in the grog last week, seek revenge against the Lion team that suddenly seems declawed.
Today's a crucial day for many of the teams in the NFL, and there's a time bomb ready to explode in Detroit.
Irv visited an Atlanta linebacking kiddie corps that strikes like a commando unit, and I called on Ron Jaworski of the Eagles, whose business is quarterbacking the team with the best record in the league. And it's all coming right up on the NFL Today.
The NFL Today is sponsored by the 1981 Volkswagen Gas and Diesel Rabbit. Volkswagen does it again. And by True Value Hardware Stores. True Value, more than just a name, it's our way of doing business. Now, from the CBS Sports Control in New York, here's Brent Musburger.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Week 10 of the NFL season. The Greek says give those folks some scores. So, folks, here are the scores. We got action. The Giants lead Dallas 7-0. Danny White with a sore left shoulder threw an interception as the Cowboys went in. Back came the Giants on the subsequent drive, and Phil Simms, 23 yards to Ernest Gray. Danello's extra point made it 7-0. Meanwhile, in Soldier Field, the Bears are running it up on Washington in the first quarter. 2 touchdowns at the first yards by Peyton, and then Vince Evans pulled out, and he hit the great Scott on this 40-yarder. That made it 14. Harper from a yard out, and now it is 21-0. How the world champion Steelers doing down in Tampa Bay? Quite well. Blocked a punt for a touchdown. 10-0 right now. Steelers lead the Buccaneers. Oh, big game next Saturday in college football. In fact, Notre Dame was probably looking ahead to it yesterday, right? But they're going to go down to Alabama and take on Bear Bryant. And Greek, what's the number likely to be in that game?
I don't know.
Phyllis, who do you think he's favored?
I know who he likes. I'm going to go Notre Dame.
All right, you're going to go for the underdog in that game.
That's right.
I want to show everybody one of the finest college quarterbacks to come around in years. Now, he's only a sophomore, but already the pros are drooling. His name is John Elway. His daddy is the coach at San Jose State. Now, watch Elway yesterday against USC on the scramble. This reminds you of a young Fran Tarkenton. Uses the referee, cuts back. Now Ken Marjoram finally gets open. Here it is, 46-yard scoring pass. Trojans lead cut to 12-6, but the Trojans have a magnificent defense. Nobody any better than this young man right here, number 42, Ronnie Lott. 45 yards for the touchdown for John Robinson. The Trojans now unbeaten in their last 28 games. Here's the game I told you about, Notre Dame and Georgia Tech. The Engineers on the board with this field goal by Johnny Smith, 39 yards away. Fourth quarter, still 3-0. The Irish desperate. They've got to have the ball now. Stacey Torin intercepts a Ted People pass, and the Irish are alive. But with 4:44 to go in the game, they had to settle for this field goal, 47-yarder by Harry Oliver. That's how it wound up, 3-3. Meanwhile, the only major unbeaten and untied team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs. And what a young running back this is. This is one that got away from USC. They wanted him to follow in the footsteps of O.J. and the rest of them, and he's a dandy. Herschel Walker, 72-yard touchdown, 238 yards on the afternoon. But the Gators, pretty good football team. Freshman quarterback Wayne Peace, he threw for about 300 yards, hit 50-yarder here to Terry Young. And watch the next touchdown coming up by James Jones. Let's give this young man good arm extension right here. And it was 21-20, Gators lead. 1:25 to go. Georgia says, we just got to get the first down. Buck Ballou hits Lindsey Scott, and would you believe it? He's going to get the whole bundle. He goes the distance. 93 yards for the winning touchdown. Georgia comes from behind to win it 26-20. 21. We got to make the Bulldogs #1, but my Seminoles from Florida State are hanging tough. Nebraska, Pittsburgh, and Alabama. Where are we going to put USC? Let's now put the Trojans in that 6th spot right behind Alabama, okay? Ohio State, Penn State, Oklahoma, and Portland State. That's right. They played Delaware State last night and beat them 105-0. This is the team that defeated Roman Gabriel 93-something. They got a great quarterback by the name of Neil Lomax. We're going to see more on Lomax at halftime. I'll tell you what, folks, he's the only fella in the country who had a better week than Ronald Reagan. Oh, what happened to the Dallas Cowboys?
The Meadowlands, Dorsett on a 15-yard run. New York 7, Dallas 7. Still going strong there in the Meadowlands.
All right. You know, there is a play, or maybe I should say a ploy, that's attracting unwanted attention around the NFL this year. This is called the mid-season walkout or the blatant slowdown, and it reached its fairest flowering on this play. Now watch Detroit's Leonard Thompson on a reverse against San Francisco. Thompson says because he doesn't have a new contract, he didn't try to score. Do you believe him? Watch the fellas in the white jerseys. You think they had him cut off? Earlier, Lion defensive tackle John Woodcock walked out.
A Woodcock situation who's did see fit to leave camp, even though there's a lot of football players, over 100. They're in a similar position that he is. And I just think that enough really has been said, but I do think that the general public's entitled to know. We have offered him substantially more than what the average football player in the National Football League makes.
Now, the Rams' Bob Brudzinski walked out, and Agent Howard Slusher explains.
The player knows under the present system negotiated by Ed Garvey, he is simply never going to be free to negotiate a contract or to leave a club. He has no freedom of movement. Not one player who has earned over $70,000 in the 3 years that this collective bargaining agreement has been in effect has been able to move. Therefore, the player simply says, I'm going to negotiate when I can. I'm going to negotiate when things are good for me. And if necessary, I will leave. He gets frustrated by the system, and he gets frustrated by clubs that don't have any economic reason to pay him. So he simply says, if I'm not going to get paid, I'm not going to play.
Not one single player has moved?
One player this year under the current contract, Aaron Kyle, declared his final plan at the Denver Broncos.
Jimmy, what about the time bomb you mentioned in Detroit?
Well, the time bomb is actually between Russ Thomas and Pardee, and the players, of course, have criticized Russ Thomas. But I'm going to let out a little time bomb. I don't think these players know that Russ Thomas is probably a 15% holder of the Detroit Lions in stock.
Aha, and he and Monty Clark are disagreeing about how much money they should give the players. And we've got a scoring update. Tampa Bay is in. It is now 10-7 Steelers over the Buccaneers. And the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment. Starting to exert itself a little bit on the Giants. How about some of that heavy negotiating going on around the league?
Well, we were just thinking last week I talked to Vince Ferragamo, and we all know that he's going through that, but we all know now that his wife Jody is going to start negotiating his contract. So this may be a first in the NFL. Now let's go to Gary Bender, where the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings are getting ready to play a good game today. How are you, Gary?
Phyllis, I'm great. And you?
Great.
You know, this is labeled by the Minnesota Vikings their biggest game of the year. They feel this is their chance to make a move and really throw the NFC Central Division up for grabs. But who's going to start at quarterback? There's a big debate here. Will it be this man, Steve Dills, the second-year man from Stanford who came off the bench last week to lead him to victory over Washington? He had 2 touchdown passes. Or will it be this man, Tommy Kramer, who started every game last week and every game prior to last week? However, he had 5 interceptions in the earlier game this year against the Detroit Lions as they lost that game 27-7. Bud Grant's having a lot of fun with this. He has 4 other positions he hasn't made a decision on. But Phyllis, tell the Greek, the odds are in favor of Dills starting here today.
How do you like that, Greek?
All right.
You're happy? That's good news to your ears, huh? Of course, the Vikings are hoping to get back into that NFC Central Division race.
The Cowboys have just intercepted a Phil Simms pass to the Meadowlands, and Irv, there is a fine young defense down in Atlanta.
That's right, all in the Western Conference. You know, Atlanta was 6-10 last year. This season, they've won 5 of the last 6 games to tie Los Angeles for first place in the NFC West. Behind that turnaround are individual stars like the maturing Steve Bartkowski and a fiery defense led by a linebacking core that seems too young to know when it's beaten. Losers in 79, the Atlanta Falcons are once again playoff contenders. Part of their resurgence is due to rookie tight end Junior Miller, number 80. But youth has truly served on the linebacking core, with 3 rookies and 1 second-year player. Rookie Buddy Curry calls the defensive signals. Rookie Al Richardson leads the team in interceptions. Rookie Jim Laughlin has played brilliantly for some injured veterans. And second-year player Joel Williams only leads the entire NFL in quarterback sacks. This is by far the youngest linebacking unit in professional football. Someday, it may also be the best.
You have 4 inexperienced linebackers starting for you. Why are you able to get away with such inexperienced people at those positions?
I think you get by with it primarily from 2 points of view. First of all, you have some good athletes, which these athletes happen to be. They can make a mistake, and they're yet quick enough and can run well enough to recover and come back and make the big play for us, which they have done throughout the season.
You have one guy who's had an exceptional year getting to the quarterback, Joel Williams. Why is he able to get there so often?
The big thing, I think, is his overall quickness. He is probably the quickest of our 4 linebackers. The second thing is his speed, and I think the third thing is his ability to avoid the block of the back as the halfback and our fullback try to pick him up as he's coming in on the quarterback. He has great success of grabbing the defender or the blocker and simply jerking himself by him and able to go ahead and get in on the quarterback and get him for a sack.
Atlanta's linebackers can also play the run, as the Falcons lead the league in rushing defense. This success has brought a strong camaraderie to the youngsters.
We're a close group. We came in together, most of us, 3 rookies and a second-year man. At first, the veterans, you know, they were kind of wary of us, all being rookies, and we've come up with a lot of big plays for it, the team, and now they're kind of settling down, and they're looking up to us a little bit. Not maybe looking up to us, but maybe on their level. So it's getting easier for us.
Last week in Buffalo, the Falcons stopped the Bills, who possessed one of the league's best offenses. Most impressed by Atlanta's tenacious linebackers was Buffalo quarterback Joe Ferguson.
Well, I think there's a lot can be learned from these young linebackers across the league, that if you play with the aggressiveness that they are playing with to get to the football and to hit people like they've been hitting them, then you can cover up for some mistakes you make, but by playing with the aggressiveness and the energy that they put out, then you can go out and win big football games, even though you don't have the experience that you need.
Couple of updates regarding athletes from the University of Southern California. Vince Evans has just thrown a long touchdown pass to Walter Payton. If Thomas kicks the extra point, it'll be 28-0. Lynn Swan was just interfered with down in the end zone. The Pittsburgh Steelers, on a 2nd and goal, are having a lot of trouble against the Buccaneers. We'll tell you about that as the NFL Today continues in just a moment.
Personality Profile is sponsored by United Airlines. When you fly United, you're flying the friendly skies.
Sidney Thornton scored from a yard out, 17-7 now. The Steelers over the Buccaneers. Evans to Payton, 54 yards. Bears 28. Redskins nothing. We'll ask Jimmy in a short time about Jack Pardee's future with that team.
Yeah, that's nice, huh? Well, Brent, it's a football truism that the quarterback often gets too much of the credit when things are going well. But it's no accident that Ron Jaworski is near the top of the heap in statistics, as the Eagles are often flying with the best record in the NFL. And in football, as in most business, one key to all of it is hard work.
Nice day today. Give me a kiss on love you. Love you.
Have a nice day.
Be good girls for Mom, okay? All right. Bye. See you late. Have good dinner for me.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Jim.
One of the things that separates Ron from other young businessmen driving to work is around-the-clock devotion to duty that indicates professional football is much more to him than just a business.
I think there's a tremendous sacrifice, particularly during the season. 7 months of football is a long time, particularly 7 weeks of training camp when you don't see your family at all except for 1 day a week. It's probably more of a sacrifice on their part to put up with what I have to go through and what a lot of other families of players in the NFL have to go through. It's not very glamorous during those 7 weeks, and actually on Sunday it's not very glamorous neither. The people sitting home watching on TV may think so, but it's not.
Do you ever feel like you're back in high school under Dick Vermeil and all this studying and carrying on?
Yes, I'll tell you, In my 4 years here, I have never been surprised once by a defense, and that is because of preparation we put in. And I'm sure most of our players feel that way. The hours we spend in meetings sometimes become very monotonous. You know, the click, click, click as the projector back and forth can become very, very monotonous. Safety blitz. Tommy Myers shows the safety blitz. Be alert for it. I know how the guys feel, and they feel on Sunday when they go on that field, they're not surprised by a darn thing.
Ron, you say you love the game of football, yet you have endured some of the toughest hits this year that any quarterback's taken. Mike Hartenstein, Randy White.
Well, you know, in this business, you're going to get those shots, and I hold no resentment towards Randy White or Mike Hartenstein. They're both fine football players. The unfortunate thing about it is it's my backside they had. I didn't see them coming, and they had a clean shot at me, and you know, in the game today now, defensive coaches are telling guys, hey, get the quarterback, give them your best shot, you know, that type of thing. And these guys get a clean shot at me, and they take advantage of it.
Ron, you spend a lot of time here, you work hard, and you don't get to spend that much time with your family during football season. So what's the big payoff?
Well, you know, you can look at my hands right now, and I don't have a ring on them. And I think the one thing that I'd like to do is get that Super Bowl ring. You know, I've been in the NFL 7 years, I've been to the playoffs 6 times, never been to the Super Bowl, don't have one of those championship rings. Not as fortunate as those guys at the Steelers, and that's the bottom line.
Let's go deuce right, player, 343, back, stop, and the go down. Ready?
I realize that, hey, this is my job, this is what I love to do, it's my profession. The only way I'm going to get better is to keep putting the hours in, to keep working at it, and just keep plugging away, you know, and I'll never be satisfied till I got that rock on my hand.
5.
He wasn't penalized, Hartenstein, for hitting Jaworski during the game, but the league headquarters fined him $1,000. It was wrong what he did.
The NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment. This year, but it's in St. Louis.
Well, I'll tell you, let's see, they've beaten New England, Buffalo, Detroit, and L.A., and they've stopped Sims, Cribbs, and Vegas Ferguson. So I've got to say that Atlanta's pretty good. St. Louis plays good at home. There'll be a lot of long bombs. Atlanta's kicking game will win it.
All right, we've got, of course, this game, Detroit and Minnesota. Right now, there is a 4th and goal for the Giants against the Dallas Cowboys, and he scores. So, Jimmy, that updates that. It is now 13-7 Giants over your Cowboys.
The Giants are leading.
I can't believe it.
I can't
either. How
either.
about the Minnesota-Detroit game?
I'll tell you, it looks like a straight toss-up. I can't understand all these problems with the Lions, but since they're leading their division, I would have to say that they're going to put it all together and go play against Minnesota. I'm going to like Detroit.
And you think Dills indeed will be their quarterback, as Gary Bender reported. And how about San Francisco at Green Bay? I still say Packers don't get no respect, and they deserve some.
They sure do. They've played good ball, but they got crucified last week physically, so this makes it a real toss-up game. You've got to give the quarterback for Green Bay, I mean, the old man, Dickey, just a lot of credit the way he's been playing. But San Francisco manages to stay in every game and make it exciting. I'm going to call it a toss-up.
Too many changes in personnel, perhaps, for the 49ers, though. Miami, Los Angeles, coming up a little bit later down in Anaheim. And what about the Rams?
Well, the Rams got too much offense. Their linebackers are good. Their defensive front is good. Miami's defense is super, except that they don't have any offense. I think Shula may start taking a look at some of his younger players.
So easy for the Rams, right?
Well, let's say the Rams will win it.
All right, toss-up category, according to Jimmy, Baltimore and Seattle. How about slightly favored? Houston over New England. What a Monday nighter that'll be. Favored now, Philadelphia, Oakland, San Diego, and Buffalo over the New York Jets. And the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment. Dorsett just busted one. They'll set up, and if they kick the extra point, it'll be tied at 14. Jimmy, Jack Pardee getting blown away in Chicago, upset by Minnesota. What about his future now with the Redskins?
I tell you, you're going to start hearing a lot of Washington people saying, bring back George. But as long as Ed Bennett Williams is there, nothing can happen like that.
Wouldn't you know it, that George Allen is the analyst on that game back to Washington with Vince Scully today? Huh? Listen, how about the Yankee managerial situation? We hear that Gene Michael's going to take over the Yankees. Dick Hauser goes to Texas. How do you
No, Hauser will stay.
Hauser will stay?
Absolutely stay. How can you fire a man who's won 103 games?
Well, it's not me trying to fire him.
Steinbrenner just knows how to get publicity, that's all.
All right, let's take you to the scoreboard now before we turn you loose for the games. Now, the Cowboys have scored, and Well, they're down on the 1-yard line, actually, so I may have called the touchdown premature. There they are. Tony Dorsett had about an 85-yard run, and apparently they called him down at the 1-yard line, so I was premature, and that man right there, Newhouse, busted across. All right, 28-0. Chicago blowing away the Washington Redskins. One of the game underway. The world champion Pittsburgh Steelers lead Tampa Bay 17-7. For Phyllis and Irv and Jimmy the Greek, I'm Brent Musburger saying so long from New York. We hope you've enjoyed the NFL Today on CBS.
The NFL Today will continue after this word from your local station.
Bush Memorial Stadium, by the Arch and on the banks of the Mississippi, the home of the St. Louis Cardinals. Today they entertain the Atlanta Falcons, who surprisingly to a lot of people are tied with the Rams for first place in the NFC West. Last week against Buffalo, Bartkowski to this man.
William Andrews, and he can splatter him, a 200-pound fullback who is really dynamite, averaging 5.2 a rush.
NFC standings in the Eastern Division. St. Louis with their record of 3-6. Many say they are the best 3-6 team in professional football. Here is Jim Hart last week against Dallas.
Mr. Dynamite, 10 touchdown passes to Mel Gray, and they can light the scoreboard up maybe as fast as anybody in football.
A sellout crowd in St. Louis, as you would expect for this matchup between the Falcons and the Cardinals. Atlanta 6-3, St. Louis 3-6, and as I mentioned, perhaps the best 3-6 team in football. I'm Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire. What about this Atlanta team and their organization?
Well, Bartkowski used to have to do it all by himself, Patrick. Now they have a big, solid offensive line they drafted for. They're a solid team. They have good people at skill positions, and he's actually gotten his act together. He's a born-again Christian, and he's married, and we talked to Van Note about it, and we asked Van Note if this was truly the real Steve Bartkowski we now see.
Yes, you know, in his early years in Atlanta, we didn't have the team to back up some of his talents. He took a real beating, and injuries took their toll, and I think he got a little gun-shy as the seasons got along because of our protection was so poor. Now he's learned to adjust, and I can recall a game earlier this year against San Francisco, people hanging on him through a touchdown pass. He's got it started against Detroit down in Atlanta, ran for a first down, ran 10 or 11 yards for a first down. So he certainly has direction and purpose, and he knows what he wants out of football and out of life, and he's going after it.
And that says it pretty well, doesn't it?
It really does.
Two of the supporting cast are those two running backs we talked about. Lynn Kane, the tailback, and William Andrews.
Lynn Kane on the left has over 500 yards. Andrews over 600 yards. But the main thing is, Pat, they block like hell for one another. They're good football players.
The Cardinals seem to be a very unpredictable team. Very strong, but an unknown quantity, I think.
And perhaps the scariest team to play. Now they could be the big spoiler. They can put a lot of points on the board in a hurry. They have to gamble on defense, but I think we're going to see a real good football game, and I want to see that those four rookies playing defense for Atlanta.
I'm anxious to see that, too. Let's get down to the field right now. Jim Hart, the Cardinal quarterback, has traditionally had great days against Atlanta. Cardinals lead in the all-time series 5 games to 1. And the kickoff by Mazzetti, and we are underway.
That's Roy Green with the football coming out over the 20 and whacked on the 24, Patrick.
We expect a very aggressive, hard-hitting football game all day today. James Mayberry was the man who made the tackle. Let's look at the offense for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And boy, everybody there except Deerdorf has been there for the first time. Collins, Young Cotton playing pretty well. Braheny, Bostic now back in there. And Dan Deerdorf, the cemented right tackle. Marsh is the fast young tight end that's improving every game, really.
Hart, the quarterback, Morris, and the dynamite O.J. Otis Anderson, the other running back, Mel Gray, and Pat Tilley, two of the very best, the wide receivers. They're both flanked to the left.
Atlanta's in that 34 deep. It knows how deep the linebackers are. First pass.
Hart on first down, going for a bundle. He might have a bundle. He does to Pat Tilley. All the way down to about the 43-yard line in Atlanta territory. Kenny Johnson knocked him out of bounds, but Hart thinks he's got to go to work. Throwing the football, he picks up 29 yards on his first effort.
And it's a play-pass action, which shouldn't do much on the first play, but let's see what happens to the linebackers. He fakes inside on the eye to Anderson, who comes across the middle. Boy, Tilley just beat the zone. He beat the upbacker. They had him kicked out into that linebacking spot and just ran by him.
Knocked out of bounds on the Atlanta 46. Nobody runs better pass patterns than Pat Tilley. He doesn't look like he should even be playing.
It's his 48th catch of the year, and all of them made just like that, right on the line.
Hard on first down, gonna throw again. Again, it's Tilley, got it. And slung backwards by Rollin Lawrence. And it looks like Hart has made up his mind, and the Cardinals have made up their mind that the way to get it done is to put it up.
And this bunch is only allowing 93 yards. They're the best team against the rush in the NFL. That's Yates, Famawino, the big guy at nose, and Jeff Murrow. Here are the young guys. 3 of those 4 are rookies: Richardson, Laughlin, Curry, and Williams.
And the secondary: Lawrence, Johnson, Glazebrook, and the newly elected Tom Pridemore.
Of course, they're a gambling bunch in the secondary, and that might be where they're a little bit short, if anywhere.
4-yard pickup on that first down. Hart to Tilley. Marsh splits out a little bit on the left-hand side. Belgray is over there, and Hart again. Gonna throw. Screen pass to O.J., and look out when he gets in the secondary. Shy of a first down as Famawino comes over to take him to the ground, or to the artificial turf, I should say.
Pretty good recovery there by Atlanta. That thing looked like it was going to go down the sidelines for about 20 yards. This bunch, they really scrambled. They held Sims, the great Detroit rusher, to 31 yards. They held Cribbs to, I think, 26 yards or vice versa. But anyway, they're a very good defensive team against the rush.
The best in the NFL against the rush. Double tight ends, Chris Combs and Doug Marsh. Mel Gray split out wide to the left. They need 2 for a first. And Hart goes to Gray, almost had it. Now they'll have to punt. Kenny Johnson, the defender on that side. Hart threw high to Gray.
Boy, almost got Mel Gray put in the infirmary with that one. Young Kenny Johnson had a good shot at him over there.
I said they will have to punt. I was incorrect. They have left the offensive unit. No field goal kicker, no punter. They're going for it.
Well, when you're 3 and 6, you might as well, huh?
4th and 2 now. Atlanta with a good road record of 4 and 1. And they have beaten some very good teams.
I tell you, Morris is a heck of a good fullback. It's in there alongside Anderson.
He is number 34. Now 3 tight ends. If you consider Rod Phillips to be that. Fake. Wide open is Chris Combs. And Combs, touchdown Cardinals. Talk about your gambles. 38 yards from Hart to Combs.
And he comes in on these short yardage situations. His first catch of the year in the touchdown. Wow, what a way to break in catching the ball.
On 4th and 2, don't forget this.
Watch the fake by Hart. 15-year veteran. He stuck it in there, and Anderson picked up the block on the blitz. Man, he is all by himself. It's over now.
Bob Glazebrook doing the chasing, but Chris Combs puts the Cardinals on top 6-0. And Hart, very, very impressive on this first drive. Neil O'Donoghue adds the extra point. Another look at the touchdown.
We don't know what the Cardinal rushing game looked like because they haven't rushed a single time yet, and they have a score already. There you'll see Anderson going for the block and Combs going for the touch. Hello
7-0. St. Louis over Atlanta on the first offensive series. Neil O'Donoghue set to kick off for St. Louis. Ray Strong back deep. Number 25 for Atlanta. O'Donoghue bounces it. Picked up by one of the up linemen, Edgar Fields. And Edgar will give Atlanta a pretty good operating room at about the 37-yard line. 6 yards returned.
Bartkowski and company haven't had a chance to fire a shot yet. They're coming on with, you can see Van Note at center there. Big Ken and Bryant at the tackles. Good look at offensive line. There it is. Ken, Scott, Van Note, Thielman, the big Arkansas Razorback, Bryant, and Junior Miller at tight end.
Speaking of big, Bartkowski, Kane and Andrews, the running backs, Francis and Jenkins, the wide receivers. This is Lynn Kane on first down. The Cardinals also a very difficult team to run against. They also play the 3-4. So let's look at the St. Louis bench for the moment. We'll check out their lineup in just a second. Here is their defense then.
Remember, they held Dallas to 50-some-odd yards rushing last week. There's Pollard. That's Rush Brown. They call him Crush Rush Brown at nose. And Jankowski, who was put on waivers early, is back playing defensive end.
Some very active linebackers: Niels, Carney, Eric Williams, and Mark Arneson. Secondary: Allen, Worley, Nelson, and Stone. 1 yard pickup by Kane, make it 2nd and 9.
They are not a big blitzing team, but they will come when they have to.
Bartkowski outside Lynn Kane. Lee Nelson made the tackle over in front of the Atlanta bench.
Patrick, he's hurt. That may be that leg again. You and I were talking about how he did rehabilitation the whole off season, and I believe that Lynn Kane is hurt again.
He is hurt, but I don't think it's his leg.
Remember that story of this young man?
He went through some rehabilitation program in the offseason.
Moved right into the training camp outside of Atlanta and just lived there and worked about 7 hours a day just on getting himself back ready to play football.
I think it was that knee as the last Cardinal player went over and nicked him in the head that might have hurt him. In obvious pain is Lynn Kane, but a very courageous young man. He came back and put himself through some rigorous program. 7-0 St. Louis. A rather surprising score. The Giants on a touchdown pass from Phil Simms to George Martin, who normally is a defensive end but comes in on short yardage situations, scored the touchdown that put him ahead. The Bears running away from Washington. They're really having problems. They have 28-0. Buccaneers just scored to make it 17-14 in their match against Pittsburgh. Here it's 3rd and short. Bartkowski goes outside to Alfred Jenkins. He has a Falcon first down.
Look out for the skill positions right now for the Falcons. As Bartkowski has said, they have the people there. There's Anderson on the bench. The Cardinals, he's a great #1 draft for St. Louis the year before. Had over 1,200 yards as a rookie. How do you top that act, huh?
He doesn't look like it, but he's 220 pounds, and we'll see a lot of him before the afternoon is over. Bartkowski for the year. He needs, what, 88 yards to reach the 10,000-yard plateau?
He's already the all-time Falcon passer.
Ray Strong has replaced Lynn Kane. Cardinals blitzing. The Falcons pick it up. They ought to have something going. And they do have something going. Junior Miller, who's about 240. Ken Stone finally hung on long enough to get him to the ground, or at least until help arrived.
I think it was the Kansas coach that said against them when he was at Nebraska that his secondary was chasing him. It looked like a bunch of gnats chasing an elephant, and the elephant was winning. He's the fastest guy on the team at 240. He's got 6 touchdown receptions already this year, and his attitude is a lot better than a lot of people thought it was going to be. He wants to play football.
And his catch puts the Falcons in Cardinal territory, and this is Andrews who will hurt you. Inside the 25 to about the 24 is William Andrews from Auburn.
Is he something?
Lee Nelson stopped him.
He blocked for Cribbs, right? And White got all his daylight because of Lynn Kane at SC, but this guy, as Jim Hannafin, the St. Louis coach, told us yesterday, he splatters you. He's a very quick starter at 200 pounds. He runs like he's about 230.
He leaves a trail, as someone said.
Leaves a trail.
2nd down and 4 at the 24 for the Atlanta Falcons under Steve Bartkowski. A very enthusiastic group. Thrown high, intended for Wallace Francis. Let's go now to Brent Musburger in the NFL Today.
Pat, your old team, the New York Giants, tied with the Dallas Cowboys at 14. They went for the tackle eligible, the defensive lineman George Martin all alone. Danilo adds the extra point, and now the Giants lead the Cowboys 21-14. Let's go back to Pat Summerall.
Brent, the Atlanta Falcons on the move. They trail 7-0 right now. It's 3rd down and 4 at the St. Louis 24.
Bart is 3 out of 4 now.
No blitz, 3-man rush. He's got some time. Pass deflected, almost intercepted by Ken Stone, I believe. Intended for Junior Miller. Bartkowski really cut it loose.
Boy, Stone, look at that. He is mad. The young man from Bannerman. Here it is now. Watch this offensive line block. They give Bartkowski a lot of time. And I mean, they go up and take him. They're big and they're strong. He had plenty of time to throw it. He just whistled that one high and wide.
Good job by Jeff Van Note. And Tim Mazzetti with John James holding. And Mazzetti, after an off year last year, has come back to be spectacular.
12 out of 14, huh?
Right. This one from 42 yards out. Make it 43. And it's got plenty of leg, and yes, sir. The Falcons bounce right back. And the score now is 7-3, and we have 9 minutes and 52 seconds left in the first quarter. Both offenses so far looking very impressive. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire in St. Louis. 7-3 Cardinals. Mazzetti just hit from 43 yards out, and he kicks off for Atlanta. Roy Green, who can fly. Out to the 34. Stopped by Rick Bias.
They'd like to have that kickoff hang in the air about 4 seconds, and that was the line shot that time. It gave Green a heck of a time to come upfield before you can get down and get set up around the 30 or 25.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals and the National Football League is prohibited.
Cardinals haven't run a play yet, have they?
Nope. That one series, everyone was a pass. And as long as it's working, why not stick with it? From the 34, Hart going for Gray. Pass interference.
On Roland Lawrence.
Right.
2.5 years ago, you could have done that, and that's the way you had to play the sidelines and bounce people out of bounds. And Gray had done the out and was going up and was probably gone. Let's see how the pass blocking is. Again, Hart is a 3-step drop guy, does the flag. Now he goes up with it. You've seen Van Brocklen and all the quarterbacks through the age love to get that out and up. Fisher was right on top.
Lawrence bumped him out of bounds.
Pass interference. The ball was thrown clearly above the head of the receiver and out of bounds. He could not have caught the ball. Second down.
I'd still be playing if we could do that.
That's quite an explanation here. They did not call pass interference because Mel Gray had gone out of bounds, and he couldn't have come back as an eligible receiver.
Well, that's true. How did he get out of bounds?
He was knocked out of bounds.
It's probably a good, sensible call. At least they're letting them play a little football, I think.
That'll be debated for a while, I'm sure. That editorial explanation that you got from the referee was by Fred Silva. Maybe the rest of his crew in just a minute. Here's Jim Hart, number 17. The veteran who says he feels better than he has in a long, long time. Gonna throw again. If he has time, and he does. Penalty marker down. Pass caught by the tight end, Doug Marsh. But another penalty flag down.
Got a lot of heat on him that time, too. Famuino, the big nose guy, came through, and there might have been some holding up there.
Yates also put a rush on. And it looks like holding.
Have not had a rushing play yet. In fact, it's been 4 games since O.J. Anderson has been over 100 yards rushing.
And O.J. is down and squirming in pain right now.
He faked through the line, and I think one of those young linebackers just collared him. He's hurt, huh?
Offensive holding, number 72. Second down.
It is against Deerdorf, blocking on Yates. And Yates was one of the two that put the heat on Hart. O.J. Anderson. What a rookie season he had. Score here in St. Louis is 7-3. The Cardinals over the Falcons. 9:27 left first quarter. O.J. Anderson, number 32. Here's what happened a minute ago. He's on the right side of your picture.
Watch the right part of your screen now. You'll see Murrow's coming under, number 75. He actually gets sort of knocked over. He was blocked in there. He and Morris together tumble there, and he started grabbing his leg right away. There's a lot of traffic out there down the middle, huh?
Talking to O.J. 49ers Packers 6-0 San Francisco. Touchdown pass by DeBerg. And Brian Sipe, as you would expect, leading the Cleveland Browns. However, Charles White scored the touchdown. Hard again to the air. A blitz. He got rid of it with a submarine ball. And what a throw by Jim Hart. Famuino put the heat on. Wayne Morris was the receiver.
That's what the experience will give you. 15 years. He reloaded it and threw it sort of sidearm, but he knew exactly where to go with it. And this person is one of the best all-around football players in football. Morris is, he can do everything. Run straight, north and south, as they say. Look at this move. This guy can do it all. From SMU, right?
However, it will be 3rd and 12 for the Cardinals. Rusty Lish backup Cardinal quarterback over on the sideline. 3rd and 12 from a 32. Hart again to the air. Still no Cardinal running play. Hart fires. He has Pat Tilley at the 49-yard line of Atlanta.
Oh, what a throw. What a great throw. Great throw by Hart. He had a lot of pressure. The Atlanta defensive line got their hands up in the air. He didn't have much to look at, and he had a small target and hit him right in the numbers. Watch this. He's thrown out of a silo right in the middle of that. And how he threads it, I don't know, but there's Tilley. Darn if he isn't always in a vacuum somewhere.
Just to update you on a couple of injuries, the word on Lynn Kane is that they took him to the dressing room to x-ray his wrist. And that's all we know so far.
He re-injured it. He had it before coming in. It's been hurt.
Doug Marsh is in motion. Hart again throws to Tilley. And he's gone. Atlanta touchdown. Pat Tilley. St. Louis touchdown, I beg your pardon.
And that's Tilley's 5th touchdown catch of the year. A 50-yarder from Louisiana Tech. He might have the softest pair of hands in football. And he'll catch it coming across the middle, too, as we just saw.
Jim Hart to Pat Tilley. And the Cardinals go on top now 13-3.
The quick post. And tackling him must be tough, because right now Atlanta's having a heck of a time tackling in that secondary.
O'Donohue with Roger Worley. Tilley already has 100 yards on 4 catches. And we have 7 minutes and 51 seconds left in the first quarter.
He made a catch against Baltimore. That was impossible. He made one against the New York Giants. That was incredible. And that one was just a good workman job. The quick post, and took it 50 yards. And Jimmy Hart is throwing it. He's throwing strikes, isn't he?
And that's all they've done. They still haven't run a play from scrimmage. And as we mentioned in the beginning, traditionally, in the meetings between these two teams, Jim Hart has just killed Atlanta. The last 2 times they met particularly, he's been over 300 yards. Here's the touchdown pass to Tilley again.
The quick post, 7 of 9, 151 yards for Jim Hart. And he's just in the 2nd or 3rd inning as a starting pitcher. He's getting warmed up.
Just as you look over to the left-hand side of the field, I see that Lynn Kane has come back. So apparently the x-rays are over. We still don't know what the verdict is as yet.
Remember that Kramer and Danielson, Detroit and Minnesota had big passing days against the Atlanta secondary.
Here's O'Donohue ready to go. Another line drive kickoff. It's Ray Strong chasing it down. Anthony Anderson, however, handles it. Gets out to about the 17-yard line where the Falcons will have to operate. Remember, however, that they got behind Buffalo almost the same fashion last week and came roaring back.
Bartkowski had 3 INTs, 3 interceptions in the first half against Buffalo, and never lost his poise or his confidence, and came right back, and they blew him out in the second half. There's the run back. That's one thing the Cardinals will do. They'll lay a lick on you, too. They like to hit.
Charles Baker applied that one. From the 16, 1st and 10 Atlanta. They trail 14-3. Cardinals striking quickly. Pitches back to Andrews, and they stack it up. Eric Williams leads the Cardinal defense.
It's hot on the field, too. For the people that are elsewhere in the country, this is about as beautiful a day as you'd ever find in November in St. Louis.
Delightful. Just perfect. The Giants over Dallas now 28-14. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Atlanta Falcons in St. Louis. They trail 14-3. Just over 7 minutes left first quarter. Bartkowski. Alfred Jenkins out of bounds. Atlanta first down.
Boy, Steve really set up and really wound up on that throw. He's never been a great mover in the pocket. I'm talking about Bartkowski, but he always had the great big arm. Now it looks like he's beginning to sort of get it under control. He doesn't have to overthrow it all the time now. And he's healthy.
He's also big.
6'4".
The verdict on Lynn Kane, the decision, must have been good because he's back in the game with Andrews now as the 2 running backs.
Bartkowski looking deep for Miller. He'll have him. And Junior Miller, the big horse, takes 2 to get him down again. Lee Nelson is one of them. Roger Worley the other.
And Nelson had good position on him. He's so darn big that you can have position on him. He goes up and takes the ball away anyway.
22-yard pickup.
A lot of action here on the line of scrimmage. The blitz was on. They're trying to shove 2 linebackers in there. And Bartkowski sort of threw that going off his back leg and got away with it because of this tremendous physical specimen right here.
The way things are going here, the punters can go home and watch the rest of the game on TV.
If he's Junior Miller, what does Senior Miller look like?
In motion is Wallace Francis. Straight ahead is Andrews. It looks like he's going to get 1, and he winds up getting 6. Eric Williams made the stop.
Mike Ken, the big offensive left tackle, was talking about it, that when he and the people get together and get a good play at the point of attack, they figure it's for 4 or 5 yards, and they'll look up, and Andrews has carried it about 7 or 8. And they said they're continually amazed at what their second-year fullback does at 200 pounds.
2nd and 6 at the 41 in St. Louis territory. Bartkowski on a quick count gives to Kane.
Oh, boy.
And Kane squirms for almost a first down, and he's hurt again.
And that arm is killing him. I was talking to Jerry Glanville and a few people before the game, and they said he plays with pain, but if you've got a nick like an arm or an elbow, as a running back, you just can't function.
Especially on a surface that's as hard as this one.
A rock.
Kane goes out, Strong comes in. Steelers moving ahead by 10 over the Bucks, 24-14, 3rd and 1 here. At the 36, it'll be Andrews. And Andrews delivers a lick, and Rush Brown gives it back. What a hit by Rush.
What a move. The 26-year-old rookie, huh?
Rush Brown didn't play football in high school, played in the service in Europe.
Did a pretty good block at the point of attack. He just moved right off the center, came off Van Note and made the tackle. You got to gamble a little bit, but on short yardage, it's pretty tough at that nose spot to get all the way over in front of it. Man, that's some job by number 69.
He might have the first down. Close enough to measure. Right at the 35, about a foot short, I'd say. Atlanta, I would assume, has got to go for this. They trail 14-3 first quarter, 4:46 left to play in the first.
You got 2 backs that have almost 1,200 yards between them. You got to go for it. You got to tell the other team that we're going to be able to rush the football even though you're pretty good playing D.
28-21. Ron Springs has just scored for the Cowboys at the Meadowlands. Browns 14-0. 4th and inches here. Cardinals move. They're going to say, of course, that they were drawn offside, but we'll have to wait and see.
Bryant moved too, number 66, the big offensive right tackle.
Offense, number 80. Encroachment.
Junior Miller.
Right. Top of the picture. No doubt about it.
So bring in the punter now, huh?
That will change things. And John James comes in. There is Jim Hannafin, the head coach, a very popular head coach, not only with the players, but with people here in St. Louis.
James has 13 of them inside the 20-yard line. He can nail it right in the corner. He's good at it.
They say he has the best hands on the team. We've seen him handle some bad snaps when other kickers might have just run away from the ball. That almost is one right there. And John James, who's so good at kicking those knuckleballs, drills this one into the end zone. So the Cardinals will take over. They've had the ball twice. They've scored 2 touchdowns, and they still have not run a running play.
I'll get the stats on Jim Hart here in just a second.
See if O.J. Anderson's back in.
Hart is 7 of 9 for 151 yards and 2 touchdown passes, 1 on the short yardage.
Anderson is not back in the lineup, so it'll be Wayne Morris and probably Willard Harrell, the running backs. That's what it is.
You ever seen Jim Hart look any better physically?
No.
About 207. He's worked on the Nautilus stuff all year in the offseason. He just looks trim and great.
Willard Harrell jumping around in the backfield, and there's the first running play to Morris. Stopped by Jeff Yates. Atlanta, the most difficult team in the entire NFL to run against. So why not throw it? And that's what the Cardinals have been doing. That's their first running play, 4-yard pickup.
Defensive line by this time, they thought they'd never run the ball probably, huh?
There is Anderson, number 32, Carl Allen next to him.
Anderson had a strained knee. It looks like he'll be back.
He had a sore knee going in. We talked to him before the game, and he said his knees had been bothering him, along with his shoulder. Morris, number 87, moves away from the tackle. Hart on a draw play to Harrell. And look at him go. Willard Harrell roars up to the 50-yard line on a draw. Stop finally by Glazebrook. I guess they don't know that this is the most difficult team to run against. But when you throw that well, it makes it that much easier, doesn't it?
Harrell's only carried the ball 22 times coming in. Of course, with Anderson and Morris, you'd expect that. It's a draw. Boy, got a good block there by Bostic. Brahaney did a good job, too. Boy, they broke him out clean. He's usually their short yardage guy inside the 5-yard line. He's very quick.
26 yards on that pickup and a first down. Cardinals just shy of the 50-yard line. They already lead 14-3. 3 minutes left first quarter. Harrell again. And again he breaks into the secondary and jukes. And goes out of bounds at the 35. Wow. Penalty marker goes down. 13 yards on that carry for Harrell.
Got the good block by Morris, the fullback, coming out. And then a missed tackle right on the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul against Atlanta, and they'll move it deeper.
Might have hit him after he got out of bounds, Pat, you think?
I think so.
Watch the right part. Watch 24 now. Go out there and cut. Do the job on the outside backer.
Personal foul, defense. Number 58. First down.
That's Joel Williams.
7 or 8 yards.
That's Joel Williams. But my goodness, you got to knock him out of bounds.
I can't believe you can't touch anybody near the outside anymore. Not going to be able to see much from this action. This is the way the Cardinal bench saw it. They weren't too happy with it, I don't think.
Penalty's been marked off at any rate. Line of scrimmage is now to Atlanta 20. Hart fakes to Harrell. Goes to Tilley. Incomplete.
Lawrence really played it beautifully, number 22 that time. Tilley was trying to run the real quick out right for the flag. Lawrence just was right with him. What's Hannaford got in his mouth? Is that his fountain pen there?
I've seen people smoke a lot of things on the sideline.
Never a Bic.
From the 20 then, it'll be 2nd and 20. 2nd and 10, beg your pardon. From the 20. More like it. Hard on the draw to Harrell. Some more room. Willard Harrell to about the 16.
You know, that draw series against the 34 is really effective because those young linebackers, and 3 of the 4 are rookies for Atlanta, they bail out as soon as they see pass. As soon as they read that the offensive line sort of setting up, they drop out of there, and they're a long way from the line of scrimmage when number 33 shows up.
3rd and 6 from the 16. Clock running at 2:20 left first quarter. Harrell, by the way, is 5'8", 182 pounds, from Pacific University. He's been in the league 6 years. Hart.
Gonna throw it, huh?
Moves Doug Marsh out a little bit. Straight back. Stayed on his feet, finally got rid of it, and did a marvelous job of doing that. Glazebrook almost had a crack at making the interception.
How about a touchdown? There was nobody in the flat area at all. If Glazebrook had been standing, he would have taken that one right into the Mississippi River.
Here's the pressure on Hart.
The big rush.
Al Richardson applied the initial pressure.
He has 4 sacks coming in, and those guys are really active back there. None of the linebackers are overly large, but they're all good hitters and fast.
Roger Worley will hold. Neil O'Donoghue will try from 34 yards out. 20 good and 20 long. So the Cardinals who look like they're about to justify what we said at the beginning about them being the best 3-6 team in football, break out in front 17-3.
One thing to keep in mind is that the other team likes to come and play third and fourth quarter football. And the one thing that Lehman Bennett has instilled somewhere, all the way from, I guess, Eddie LeBaron on down through Kurt Mosier, is that the darn game is just as good in the third and fourth as it is in the first and second.
By the way, speaking of the Falcons, Lynn Kane, their fine running back, has gone back into the locker room again after he came back from the initial x-ray. And now he's gone back to the dressing room again. So I'd imagine when they get the ball, it'll be the man who most likely will return the kickoff, Ray Strong, at the tailback spot for them. O'Donohue, in the meantime, will kick off.
Where's he from? Dublin, Ireland?
Right. Used to be with the Falcons.
Yep. Was he at Tampa Bay once, too?
Yes.
Was he the guy that quit because McKay was staring at him or something? That wasn't the same guy.
I don't believe that was O'Donohue. Here's his kick, which goes in the round end and is taken by Strong at the 5, and Strong gets out to about the 23.
Good-looking game plan the Cardinals have. Jim Hart is really running a good-looking offense. They don't have to change that if they can stay with it, passing 8 or 9 straight and then running 5 or 6 straight. They can play pretty good football.
Jim Hanifin talking to Jim Hart over on the sideline about what he'd like to have done. So far, he's got to be pretty happy about things.
You know, good coaches still like to teach, don't they? They still like to coach.
Bartkowski throws back to Andrews. Fumble. And the Cardinals have it.
That's only the 5th fumble that the Atlanta team has lost all year. Oh, I'll tell you, these Redbirds are flying high. They are hot.
Ron Jankowski made the recovery.
Andrews only has 1 fumble himself of the 4 before this. He gets stripped of it. He cuts back, got a big hole. Runs right through it here. I believe it was Arneson that got it.
Bob Pollard got the arm in. Watch number 82.
82's playing the defensive left end spot, working on Bryant. Just reaches an arm in, and it's already out, huh?
Jankowski on the recovery, and let's see if Hart strikes quickly. He still has Wayne Morris and Harrell running backs. He gets to Harrell. And Willard Harrell picking his hole nicely. Gets good yardage before he's tackled by Yates.
Doing a lot of moving around, but he's also moving forward, isn't he?
San Francisco 49ers now ahead of Green Bay by the score of 13-0. It'll be 2nd and 4 after a 6-yard pickup by little but tough Willard Harrell.
It's only 5'8", 181 pounds.
Carried five times for 50 yards. That's a pretty good average. Jim Hart. To Willard Harrell. Does not get a first down, but gets a couple at least before Buddy Curry and Dewey McClain.
Played that pretty well on the outside here. Watch Laughlin, the linebacker. They do a good job of stuffing this. Go out and play the block. Oh, that's McClain playing the outside at 52. Good defensive play there. A lot of pursuit from the inside.
So it'll be 3rd down, and the Cardinals need 2 for a first down. Line of scrimmage, the Atlanta 14.
They got a good young tight end on this team. Combs is in there too. They got 2 tight ends in.
Combs has a touchdown pass already on a short yardage situation similar to this. Further upfield, however. Hart's going to try again. For Combs, picked off by the Falcons. Bob Glazebrook stops this St. Louis drive. It was intended for Mel Gray, I believe, or Combs, one of the two. Both were in the area.
Good looking play by Glazebrook. He's out of Fresno State. Tell you, a good football player can play in any league, and he'll be found out. The pros are looking for the good ones. Look at this move on the ball. Oh, man, that's great. Stepped right in front of Combs, the tight end who was trying to get his 2nd touchdown, huh?
Pass was intended for Combs. Gray was deeper and in the end zone. So Atlanta takes over at their own 7. Perhaps a little bit in shock by this early Cardinal blitz. One more play in the first quarter, and St. Louis leads 17-3. That's Ray Strong out to about the 8 or 9. So now we'll swap into the field.
It's a lot of heavyweight wrestling going on.
Tough to say. So, after the end of one, 17-3, St. Louis over Atlanta. In St. Louis, Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire, 17-3. Lynn Kane flanked out wide to the right, back in the game. Andrews the lone setback, and Bartkowski goes out to Andrews with a couple of blockers in front. And the Cardinal pursuit is devastating.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of contact. Anytime Andrews gets around the ball, there is a solid big splat at the end of it. He just dumps it. Now, this play worked against Buffalo for some pretty big yardage in the third period when they needed it. That's what Bartkowski wanted to do all the time. He's got some people out in front of him. Now watch this recovery by the guys in red.
Rush Brown. The nose guard comes flying out there. Mark Arneson is the injured Cardinal.
Just remember that this Cardinal team took Philadelphia apart. They stopped Wilbert Montgomery and they stuffed them.
And they ran the ball well against Philadelphia. So far, they have thrown it well against Atlanta. It is 3rd and 4 for Atlanta.
Walked off under his own power. I think Arneson just lost probably all the breath for a while, huh?
Cardinals also lost their nose tackle on that play. Rush Brown and Acker has replaced him. He'll be in front of Van Note as Bartkowski drops with good protection and has Alfred Jackson for an Atlanta first down. A good throw.
And the three-man rush is just not going to put any pressure on Bartkowski at all. Remember, they had 20 sacks, but 12 of those came against Baltimore. So St. Louis is not a big sack team. They don't put a lot of pressure on the passer. Look at those numbers.
17-3 score reflects those statistics. St. Louis leads Atlanta. Opening seconds as Andrews barrels into the Cardinal secondary and gets about 8. Calvin Favron.
I was talking to Charlie Johnson and a few of the Eagle players, and they saw Andrews a year ago as a rookie, and they said he's a nice guy off the field, but he's a street fighter on the field. He likes to get hit, and he likes to hit people, and he is one tough dude. He puts it down and protects that ball, and he hurts you.
8 yards, 2nd and 2 at the 32. As the Falcons move out. Kane and Andrews behind Bartkowski. Big Warren Bryant fired off the ball about a count too early.
That's one of the things that Lehman Bennett's team has been pretty good about, the penalties. I think they're the least penalized team, aren't they, in football this year or something?
I believe St. Louis is, and they're next.
2 clean teams.
False start. Number 66. 2nd down.
Rest of the officiating crew, by the way, that was Fred Silva. The umpire is Ralph Moorcroft. Head linesman Frank Glover. Jack Johnson's the line judge. Jim Kearney, the back judge. Side judge is Jim Osborne. And ex-Vanderbilt quarterback Don Orr is the field judge. 3 wide receivers in the game for Atlanta. Bartkowski slings a bomb. And it hits. Flag is down. That's the first thing it hit. Alfred Jackson was the intended receiver. The ball hit him on top of the head.
And Lee Nelson bumped him and knocked him down, and the flag is going to be there. There's nothing you can do about it. Jackson can really run. He's about a 4.4 guy in the 40, and that's just about what he ran, about 45 yards. This ball is really thrown. It's a spaceship. Right here, the contact.
Defense, number 38.
Watch it hit him in the head.
There it is.
First down.
Home.
Darn near caught it anyway.
I know it. Almost stuck in his face mask.
That's what Nelson wished had happened.
All the way down to the 29-yard line. That penalty, pass interference, was 44 yards worth. 1st and 10 Atlanta. At the St. Louis 29, Bartkowski and the throw. The blitz is on, and they got the right play called if they can get upfield with it. Andrews had a cutback inside. He was slowed down by Mark Arneson. And but for Mark, they might have been in. 13-3. Burney, a field goal for Green Bay. Rick Danmeyer, field goal for Minnesota. 3-0.
Conventional kicker, huh?
One of the very few. There are only 4.
Remember when Larry Brown used to play with Washington? Every yard he got hit, and Andrews is a lot like that. He makes yardage, but nothing's easy, you know it. He cuts back inside and just runs in and through people.
Kane is split out wide to the left. Andrews the lone setback. Quick out to Alfred Jenkins, and Jenkins will have the Atlanta first down. Roger Worley on the tackle.
It's a pretty cute play they throw up right there. Both outside receivers, both the slot man and the outside receiver, both stand up for the hitch. You don't know which one's actually going to take the ball.
That might make it a little tough on the defensive back.
It's like a cutoff play by the pitcher on the mound, right?
First down Atlanta at the St. Louis 15. This has been a characteristic of this year's Atlanta Falcons. Andrews hit right at the line of scrimmage.
Rush Brown. Boy, is he playing something to that nose tackle.
He's only been playing that spot, what, 3 weeks now?
3 weeks. He didn't even play till he got in the Air Force, right?
Yes. That's Lee Nelson that's hurt. Number 38 for the Cardinals. See if we can see what happened as Roy Green will replace him.
Watch this play. Brown gets rid of Van Note. Nelson's the one that took most of the shock, didn't he? Looked like he caught it on his forearm, huh? That's smart.
It stings and it's very numb at this point. No gain, however, for Atlanta as Kane and Andrews now stay in behind Bartkowski. And both stay in the block. Bart looking for Miller. No flag. That's the first thing you look for these days. Roy Green, the defender. Miller might have had a half a step, it appeared. There's Nelson trying to loosen that thing up and get some feeling back into it.
Bartkowski really hummed that one. I think Junior only had about 1 second to either get him up and catch it. It would have stuck to his hands anyway because he's got tremendous athletic equipment. But sometimes they say he will drop the easy ball, but he'll catch those that nobody else can get close to.
That one was not easy. So it'll be 3rd and 10. Ray Strong and Andrews now are the running backs. 3 wide receivers plus a tight end. There are no running backs except Andrews. And he stays in the block. Look out. Fumble. Cardinals scramble for it. And they still scramble.
Atlanta came up with it.
Steve Niels really put a hit on Bartkowski, blitzing from the left side. Niels, watch him.
Right side of your picture. You should get it right here. Bartkowski doesn't see it. Good, solid, legal tackle. And boy, there's nothing more treacherous. It's like a grenade with the pin pulled out on it.
The Atlanta recovery was finally made by offensive tackle number 78, Mike Ken. There is Mark Arneson.
He's got a pinched nerve in the right shoulder. Says he will not return.
Mazzetti now from 44 yards out with the punter John James holding. Mazzetti pumps it plenty far enough and right straight through the uprights. It's good for Mazzetti. What a year he's having.
Everybody's favorite bartender, eh?
So it is now 17-6 in favor of St. Louis. Tough game. 17-6. St. Louis over Atlanta. Mazzetti will kick off. Roy Green and Mark Bell back deep. Soaring kickoff, be handled by Green, 5 yards deep in the end zone. And he makes a very solid judgment not to bring it out.
Hey, Patrick, my old teammate Billy Ray Barnes, who once coached with the Atlanta team,
yes,
is recovering from an operation in Atlanta, and I just wanted to wish him good recovery. Old tough Billy Ray, huh?
That comes from all of us. And he was tough.
He's feeling better. He was cussing the nurses the other day when I talked to him. I knew he was getting well.
Word on Lee Nelson, number 38 for St. Louis, is that he has a mild pinched nerve in his shoulder, and he might be back. Jim Hart on first down from the 20. 10:53 left, second quarter. Going to work again. Outside of Wayne Morris, you heard him yell goal. That was for the blockers out in front of him. Just to let them know that he's got the ball and let's get it upfield. Glazebrook made the tackle.
He had Collins and Cotton, the 2 young fellas.
The guy's made a few tackles.
It's been a tough year.
Even his horn is broken.
He'll get his teeth cleaned, shouldn't he?
What of them there are.
Town has really turned on with the Cardinals this year. I've never seen more enthusiasm around the city about it, you know.
2nd and 2 at the 28. We had reason to be enthused today. Willard Harrell, Wayne Morris, the running backs. That's Morris. He got apparently enough to make it a first down. Buddy Curry, one of those fine young linebackers for Atlanta, was the first man to hit him.
Are they hard to run against? Man, they fill that hole as quickly as it opens. Those young linebackers are something. Richardson, Curry, Laughlin.
Also very quick. Cleveland, you saw that score. It's Charles Baker of the Cardinals over on the sideline thinking about what his next assignment might be. 1st and 10 to 31. Hart's going to throw. Maybe. Almost lost the football, but the Atlanta defense swarms around him. Wilson Famuina is one of them. Yates is one of them.
Curry was there.
And Curry was there as well.
They sent a load in on Hart that time. Here it is. That time the boat was leaking, they say.
Famuina.
See Curry filling the hole, making sure the back doesn't get out if he's got that responsibility, even though it's a blitz. Here comes the big Samoan.
And you can see that Hart, or perhaps you did see that Hart almost lost the football, but got it back. Jeff Murrow was also involved in that tackle.
He's been sacked 32 times. That's a lot of sacks.
2nd and 17 now. And Hart's undaunted. Intended for his tight end. A great catch by Marsh. And what a pass from Hart. 26 yards.
Marsh has about 4.6 speed, which is very good. He's the big young kid from Michigan, and learning to play tight end is not easy. They've got about 9 things to check out just leaving the line of scrimmage. Man, that was some catch, and you're right, the ball was right on. It looked like it was on a wire.
Glazebrook, the tackler.
Here you are playing safety. You watch this throw. Good pass blocking. He had time. Oh, man, that's cork.
That is professionalism there. From the 50, then, the Cardinals will operate. 1st and 10. And believe me, they've been operating today. Hart to Harrell. Willard Harrell still on his feet down to the 35-yard line. Is he ever quick?
And the big block was by Marsh, the tight end, who on the far side of the field, when the reverse was taking place, took the linebacker outside. Otherwise, if Harrell had been able to get to the outside, he would have scored on this. To the left of your screen now, number 87 is really battling it. Right there.
That's a good-looking play.
Harrell just runs wherever he wants to. He is really quick.
6 carries for 68 yards now for Willard Harrell. Rick Bias made the tackle. Hart faked to Morris. Harrell did a little pirouette. And everything worked. 1st and 10 at the 35. Hart. Mel Gray with nobody close. Inside the 25 to about the 24. Rick Bias again the tackler.
Obviously you can't go up and play Mel Gray from 5, 6, or 7 yards, and that time Rick Bias was back about 10 or 11. You can't play back there either. One move he gives you and you have to take it when you play too deep.
Where do you play?
Oh gosh, just get help. Just get a lot of help on the inside, that's all.
What was his time in the 100 in college? 9.3?
9.2 one time.
So you can't play him too tight. Gray is out of the game, and Mark Bell has taken his place now. It'll be another first down for the Cardinals at the 24. The Atlanta defense shot at the moment. Here is Willard Harrell out inside the 20 to the 19. Buddy Curry, the hitter.
You know, Bill Putnam is the offensive line coach for St. Louis, and except for Deerdorf, he has had an entirely new offensive line. Banks went down. He lost Terry Steve before the season started. Oates is now out of there.
Bob Young, who was there for so long, is gone. But he's got 2 young guys on the left side, George Collins and Barney Cotton, that they think can really play and play for a long time. 2nd and 5 from the 19. Sounds like it automatic. Hart knew the blitz was coming. Marsh makes the catch and then drops it.
He had no choice. Curry and company showed up and almost took the tight end in half. That was some blitz. Safety came, everybody came.
That looked like 2 years ago.
That's right. Here comes Pridemore. They picked it up pretty well, even though the ball fluttered just a bit. Glazebrook, I think, made the first hit, huh?
Right. So it'll be 3rd down now and 5.
Really a sophisticated offense, you know. A lot of different ways.
Hart, with all that experience, saw that blitz coming and got the right things done, but Atlanta compensated. They fake a blitz again, and now they back out of it. So it's a 3-man rush, and Hart throws. Willard Harrell was the intended receiver. I don't know if he held on or not.
That's the only spot he could have thrown it, though. He had to throw it low. Can't come over the top and bat the ball down if it's thrown down in there. Was it trapped or not? We sound like we're doing a baseball playoff, right? Here it is. Now watch how he throws it down. I think he wanted to look to Harrell all the time. He looked away just to let it get set up.
Couldn't really tell if he trapped it or not. They must have called it a complete pass because they're measuring now. Foot short. Cardinals want to go, and they're going to bench. Cardinals have always given this team a tough time.
In particular, number 17.
Charles White has just scored another touchdown for the Browns. And the Vikings move ahead of the Lions now 10-0 on a touchdown pass by Tommy Kramer.
Hart is 11 of 17 for 200 yards, and we're not at the half yet.
We have 6 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the second quarter. John James.
Kickers or something, huh?
With his toys.
His banky.
3 running backs. Theodis Brown joins the 2 regulars. Willard Harrell squirts through for plenty enough for a first down. I think Curry again, the tackler.
You know where they went? Right off Deerdorf.
Good place to go.
Oh, just stand in his shadow, number 72. Watch the right side. It'll be your left side now. Good reaction by Atlanta. They just busted out of there. Bostic and Deerdorf. Brahaney fires out, gets some of Famawena.
See the block that Deerdorf got? Just overpowered the defensive end.
He and Ed Jones last week, I understand, was one of the great standoffs of modern football.
They both weigh a lot. Nobody knows how much, I think. Hart missed the handoff. Penalty marker down. And Jim Hart goes down to at the 10-yard line just about. Al Richardson was the first Falcon to hit him.
Marsh is hurt, the tight end. Let's see if Hart gets up. He wears a brace on that leg, and he told us he's had one of those braces on since 1974, and I did not know that.
I didn't know it either. Hart's okay, but there's another Cardinal hurt. I think that's Willard Harrell. Anderson back out on the field now looking at things. Out looking at Willard Harrell at the moment.
Who replaced him?
Comes Wayne Morris off the field now. Willard Harrell has been just outstanding, but as we mentioned, he's not very big.
And there are a lot of injuries at this time of the year. They begin to pile up, don't they? All the hurt you've been hiding and playing with jump out.
Illegal motion. First down.
Lehman Bennett.
He hangs tough, doesn't he? When Mazzetti was having a bad year kicking, he just stayed right with his kicker.
5:04 left before the first half comes to an end, and the score is St. Louis 17, Atlanta 6. Willard Harrell back in among the St. Louis trainers.
Look at that yardage. 74 yards on 8 rushes. He was blocking when he got it then. Quite a day for a 180-pounder, isn't it?
That's the same defense that shut down Joe Cribbs and Billy Sims. First and 15 from the 17 for St. Louis. Theodis Brown and Otis Anderson. Now the running backs. Hart out to O.J. Anderson, who goes out of bounds inside the 10 at about the 8. He had injured his knee earlier, In fact, he said they were bothering him before the game. He's also got a bad shoulder.
He just does not look 100%. He did not run after he caught that ball like the O.J. Anderson that we've seen earlier this year and, of course, all last year.
If you're a running back particularly, it's hard to play and hard to run as you normally would run with all those minor hurts.
Curry makes the good tackle. Trouble is that everybody goes for the ball carrier. You know, if you're playing defense, you can sort of pick your spots once in a while and protect yourself somewhat.
Mel Gray, however, is back in the game. He is flanked wide to the right. And the dangerous Pat Tilley is out to the left. Marsh, the tight end, on the right side as well. Anderson on the draw. Touchdown.
Safety blitz by the Falcons, and it was picked up with the perfect call against the safety blitz. We got a couple of Cardinals on the ground. Hart's one of them, and I believe Barney Cotton, the big left guard, is the other one. What a call, though, against the safety blitz.
Boy, did he make that look easy. Otis Anderson just skated into the end zone.
Safety man went one way, and O.J. Anderson went the other way. Watch the safety man come up now and just come right on in. You'll see him. There he comes. Hello. Line up for the extra point. It's all over.
That was even a subtle spike. 4:53 left in the first half. The Cardinals 23. O'Donoghue trying to make it 24. The Falcons 6. This is about as devastating an offense as we have seen all year. They look like they could just move it at will any way they choose. 24-6. That's the feet of the Atlanta kicker, Tim Mazzetti.
Don't you tell me kickers aren't different. We figured he dressed in the dark somewhere.
Different color. At least he's got on the same color socks. But that's a big rule. O'Donoghue hits this one well and chases Ray Strong out of the end zone almost. Ball only went 75 yards.
Man, he's a strong kicker. That was the biggest problem I think Hannafin had, you know. We'd also like to pass along some get-well messages to our young kicker from Arkansas, right, Patrick?
Surely would. That, of course, Steve Little, who O'Donoghue replaced. The way O'Donoghue kicked that one, I think he wants to keep his visa. First down, Atlanta at the 20. Bartkowski complete. Wallace Francis still dancing around in the middle out to the 35 where he is really banged around. 15-yard pickup. Ken Stone put on the last hit.
Talk about Rodney Dangerfield. He had 74 catches last year, over 1,000 yards, and didn't get a single vote for the Pro Bowl. I'm talking about Francis, who will run the inside pattern under stuff where it's tough, where there's traffic, as well as anybody in football. This person right here.
He reminds you a lot of Tilley, really. Yep. Same kind of receivers, except I think Francis is quicker.
Yeah, he's only 185 pounds probably, but he will catch it in traffic. And that is a test of courage right in there.
Atlanta Falcons operating with 3 wide receivers that time. Alfred Jackson was in the game with Jenkins and Francis. Clock running at 4:01 left second quarter. 24-6 in favor of St. Louis. Bartkowski so far has been good. Hart so far has been spectacular.
Got the points too.
Second and 10 Atlanta. Their own 35. Kane and Andrews. Back up Bartkowski. Draw play. Seemed like a good call at the time. Only got about 3.
Boy, good defense. They really played it. That time Williams and Carney just stuffed the play. It was a very good defensive play. I would get that ball to Junior Miller as soon as possible, wouldn't you? By hook or crook.
Kane goes out. When you think about how big that Miller is and the fact that he's the fastest man on the team, Terrell Middleton has just scored for Green Bay to get the Packers closer to the 49ers. 3rd and 7 here. Very important play for Atlanta. 3 wide receivers utilized as they so often do. Cardinals on a blitz. Bartkowski gets it away. Alfred Jenkins makes the catch. And enough for a first down. 12-yard pickup. Roger Worley had the coverage.
And a great quick release by Bartkowski. He's not noted for the real quick one. Watch him read this blitz and fire it. Junior Miller, by the way, was running a straight and had about 4-yard lead to the right side. This is a good catch in traffic and a fine throw.
Lee Nelson came from the outside, and nobody picked him up. But Bartkowski hung tough. He knew he was going to get nailed. 2:40 left in the second quarter. Timeout, Atlanta. Bartkowski has already begun the stroll over to Lehman Bennett.
He said when he married his new little wife Sandy that his whole life changed. He's confident and he lives out in the trees and enjoys playing football and now enjoys his teammates a lot.
And has really shown the ability to overcome adversity. 3 interceptions you mentioned last week in the first half against Buffalo. There were times when he would have just ducked his head and you knew it was going to get worse.
Remember the first 40 games? I think he only played like 21 when he first came in the league. He had the shoulder operation, the bad wheel.
Ray Strong spraying something that will make him hold the ball a little bit better on his hands, although he hadn't had a problem.
Look at the size of that Bryant. 6'6", about 280, a #1 draft. He and Ken are the 2 big tackles, are both #1s, and Lehman Bennett and Eddie LeBaron says you got to go with big tackles. Let's get the 2 best around.
You're going to have to get a bigger monitor. 50-yard line is where the Falcons have the ball at the moment. They trail the Cardinals 24-6. Jim Hart came out firing and completing just about everything he put up. Touchdown pass to Tilley. Touchdown pass to his backup tight end. Next week here on CBS, Green Bay will be at New York. Los Angeles, New England. That's a good matchup. New Orleans visits Atlanta. Philadelphia, Washington. St. Louis, Dallas. Wow. That's a good matchup. San Francisco, Miami. Tampa Bay goes to Minnesota, where they hope it'll be cold. Bartkowski to Wallace Francis, who still dances. Carl Allen hit him.
Lehman Bennett feels he must get 7 points. You don't want to go in there down 24-6. 24-13, you're still in the contest.
Francis trots back to the huddle. Clock still running now. 2:15. Atlanta with 2 timeouts left. St. Louis with all of theirs. Jackson out to the right. Draw play to Andrews, who butts his way to a first down.
I've never seen a 200-pounder in modern football run any harder than Andrews. He's got legs like a horse, though. He's
there is the
solid.
2-minute warning. So with 2 to go in the first half, Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshire. The Cardinals lead the Falcons 24-6. 2 minutes to go in the first half. They say that Andrews did not get the first down. He missed it by a couple of inches. So it's 3rd and short now.
Bartkowski is 12 of 16 for 130 yards, and the team's down 24-6. I tell you, St. Louis has really put the points on. Darn.
Atlanta, 3rd and short. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little play pass action right here.
You waste it, you can burn it down.
Nope. It's Kane. And that's good enough action. He just moves for the first down.
He's deceptive. He's about 207 pounds and looks slender. He's actually bigger than Andrews. Carries a lot of his strength upstairs in the arms and shoulders, but he's a smooth runner. In fact, John Madden told us about him that he had his eye on him at SC when he was coaching the Raiders.
He is the blocker for Charles White at SC. Here's Andrews. And he fights to get out of bounds and does. Steve Niels made the tackle. That's sort of interesting, isn't it?
How many timeouts the Falcons still have?
2.
2 of them, huh?
Interesting that Andrews was the blocker for Cribbs at Auburn. Says they didn't even know each other very well. And that Kane was the blocker for Charles White at USC.
It's a great way to do it. So now they carry the ball, but they also block for one another.
That's good training. Got to be, doesn't it?
No free positions out there anymore.
Steve Bartkowski, we mentioned he needed 88 today, and he certainly got those. He holds the career record, team record already. And now he's over 10,000 yards, 10,042, and he'll try to add to it again right here. 2nd and 8 at 34. Blitz is on for St. Louis. Look out. That ought to be the right play, too, as Kane swings down for a first down, still on his feet. Len Kane still going inside the 10 to about the 8. What a run. Finally stopped by Curtis Greer.
And what a call by Atlanta. It was a little slip screen with Bryant out in front. Watch number 66, the big tackle, get out in front and bury the defensive safety man. A little slip screen, and the blitz came at the right time for this offensive play. Watch this block right here.
Wow. Warren Bryant put that one on.
Yep. Well, this is some running here. See a couple of Cardinals standing around checking out.
The 2 wide receivers, Jenkins and Jackson down in front too, and Kane is hurt again.
That was some run.
For the 3rd time, Len Kane is down after the play is over. He had a bad wrist going in, as we mentioned.
The worst thing that can happen to you as a defensive back is to come up on the line of scrimmage and have the tackle pulled out there, have a direct beat on you, and you can't go anywhere. You're watching it right here.
Boy, Warren Bryant just buried Ken Stone.
Right over the top. And from here, this was a lot of Kane and a lot of action, as you said, by the outside receivers trying to help him. And a little bit of standing around by St. Louis.
Jenkins and Jackson down there blocking. There comes Van Note all the way down the field. Dave Scott also made a good block.
Touchdown here.
Kane and Andrews. They could become the first pair of running backs in the history of the NFC to gain 1,000 yards each.
Only a couple have ever done it over in the AFC, I think.
Mercury Morris and Larry Zonka, Rocky Blyer and Franco Harris. They mark it just inside the 9. Just inside the 5, I beg your pardon. So it's 1st and goal at the 3. Give us the Strong straight ahead, and he is stopped by Bob Pollard.
What a play by the defensive end. He gambled and took it all the way down inside. How did he get by Bryant on that? He must have taken the inside and got away with it.
Clock running now with just a minute to go. Atlanta quickly in a lineup at the 3-yard line still. Barkowski fakes, is chased, and is taken all the way back to the 20-yard line by the Cardinals' Steve Niels.
Second sack by the Cardinals, and that's about the biggest one they've had all year.
And Atlanta calls a timeout.
Barkowski was trying to go to Andrews, who had come out of that short yardage offense, run into the end zone, but he was picked up and covered. I don't think Steve has ever been called a great runner with the football.
Eric Williams is also involved in that tackle. He's the other man in the red shirt. Loss of 15. That hurts if you're an Atlanta fan. They've used their last timeout.
You'll take 3, but if you're Lehman Bennett, you really need 7 here.
You got to take 3 if you don't pick it up now. And you got to throw this pass into the end zone, I think, don't you?
Got to do it. Get number 80 out there and wind him up.
Figure as hot as Mazzetti is, this distance is no problem. So you go for 7. Here's the sack. Eric Williams, Steve Niels, 55 and 53.
39 was open in the end zone. James Mayberry had come in there, and he opened out, but Steve couldn't get those people off his back and throw it.
That really changes the whole complexion of things when you have it 1st and goal at the 3, and now you have it 3rd and 19 from the 19. Cardinals come in with extra and special defensive players. Curtis Greer is one. Roy Green is one.
Will be what we would call the nickel defense, even though they're in the goal-to-go situation, right?
Give you the details in just a minute, but Dallas has now gone ahead of the Giants 35-28 on a touchdown by Tony Dorsett in the 3rd quarter.
I figured some of the Dallas players didn't make the flight the other day.
28-28 tie at the half is pretty awesome. Andrews is the lone setback. Miller The tight end is tight to the right. Barkowski going deep, going for the corner. And the Cardinals had it covered. Alfred Jenkins, the intended receiver, Stone and Worley back there with him.
Kenny Stone had took the corner away, and they really had it covered. Junior Miller had a couple of strides down the middle. I got to gamble with the big fella if I go into the end zone with it.
Got to figure if it's a jump ball, he's going to come down with it.
Let's see how the pass blocking is. Cardinals that time studded on the line of scrimmage trying to get a big pass rush. They just cut off the corner. There was nothing there.
John James holding. Mazzetti will try from 37 yards out. Good snap, and he misses.
Great defensive series by St. Louis.
I'll say. I don't know if it was a bad hold or what happened, but it had no chance. Let's see if we can find out.
Looked like he kicked the upper half of the ball, didn't it?
It's a good hold. Just missed it.
Some defensive surge, though, by St. Louis. That big sack.
That changed the whole thing around. It was 1st and goal from the 3. They wound up trying a 37-yard field goal from Mazzetti. So the Cardinals, with all of their timeouts left, operate with 43 seconds left. I'd be surprised if they don't try to get something else going. Hart will do exactly that. Tilley just nonchalantly strolls through the Atlanta secondary. And the Cardinals call a timeout. They have 2 left now.
Those little KMOX girls are really clever and cute, aren't they, on the field here?
What happened to the big ones?
We're waiting for them to grow up. I don't know if I'll be around long enough.
Jim Hart over talking to Jim Hannafin. That's what Tilley has done so far, and that's not for a whole game or a career. That's the first half.
He had the most yardage of any NFC receiver coming in, and he's not going to hurt that average today.
Tilley, by the way, as you mentioned, from Louisiana Tech, is 5'10", 171 pounds.
And he may not be that big, you know. That may be with a rock in his pocket. I just don't believe he's that big.
We were out at practice yesterday, and it was, as the players traditionally have done, they bring their children, the kids, to practice on Saturday.
Don't tell me he was playing with the kids, right?
Well, he looked like he should have been.
He can really play. Louisiana Tech put out a lot of good football players, haven't they?
One named Bradshaw.
Not bad. Hart is 13 of 19 for 222 yards. 2 touchdowns. I don't know if I've ever seen him any better than he's been this first half.
And he's had some hot days. We'll go for more. We have all kinds of time, and does. Intended for Mel Gray. Ronald Lawrence on the defensive play.
Well, they're going to argue about this. They claim Lawrence had possession of it when we went over the line.
Theodis Brown over there.
Dangerous throw by Hart. He threw it all the way back across the field, and secondary had a lot of time to read it.
It's Atlanta ball.
He moves a little bit to the left and now throws it. Lawrence plays this one pretty well. Let's see if he looked like he had 2 down, didn't he?
I think so. He came a long way at any rate to make that interception in a very few seconds.
He's some player, boy, with that 5-yard chuck rule in. To play cornerback like Roland Lawrence plays it, you got to be tough.
So the Falcons take over. No timeouts left. 1st and 10 at their own 46. Maybe they can get Mazzetti back in range. Barkowski throws to Kane, and Kane heads for the sidelines and stops the clock with 22 seconds to go.
Pretty clever runner. He still got the first down, didn't he? Just got by the stick.
Got his left wrist with a new bandage on it. That's the problem he's had throughout this game so far. He's been down 3 times and still returns.
His story coming back from that knee surgery and just moving into the training camp in the offseason, I never heard anything like that. Said he borrowed Wallace Francis's car. He didn't even have a car, and just holed up for the spring and worked it.
Started off by running 5 miles every day, and then he'd step up and down, among other things, on a block for 2 hours to build up that bad knee. Bartkowski intended for Wallace Francis, just a little bit high. 18 seconds left now in the first half.
Special delivery. Looks like Steve's getting a little bit of protection back there, but that one was really an errant throw.
It didn't wobble, it was just high.
And hot.
St. Louis 24. Atlanta 6. 2nd and 10. Atlanta's record 6-3. They go in tied for the lead at the NFC West with Los Angeles. Bartkowski. Complete. Jackson. They're going to have to hurry. 8 seconds, 7. They may not get another one off. Bartkowski quickly fires out of bounds. Penalty marker goes down. I'm not sure if Atlanta was set or St. Louis wasn't back.
Well, the penalty should be against St. Louis. They were obviously slowing down, walking back to the line of scrimmage. The official should call timeout and give a chance to get a playoff.
And if that is the case, a penalty against the defensive team, the half can't, or the game can't end on a penalty against the defensive team, so Mazzetti's on the field.
What color shoes does he have on this time?
Different colors.
Different colors.
Rush Brown looking over on the sideline. If it is against St. Louis, Atlanta will have a chance with Mazzetti. This is the book on him so far.
All start, offense, encroachment, defense, replay. First down.
Advantage Atlanta.
There'll be 1 down, free from foul.
There'll have to be a down free from foul, but should the line of scrimmage be there?
Well, that offsetting penalties, right? So the ball won't move. Most dangerous thing then was when the mic was open and the players were around the official talking.
Mazzetti will have his chance. John James will come back to hold it, this time from 43 yards out. A line pop, and again he hits the ball too high up on the ball. And note the score remains the same. The St. Louis Cardinals 24, Atlanta Falcons 6, and as we watch the Cardinals operate, their game plan has been just magnificent.
They won't change a thing. They'll go in and say, well, we have the right game plan. Let's go back out and execute in the second half.
But don't bury Atlanta yet. Remember last week against Buffalo, they got off to such a slow start.
They're the kind of team that can take one block punt or whatever, or one interception, and it completely fuels the whole ball club.
By Dallas 7-2, the St. Louis Cardinals 3-6, and tied with the Redskins, who are having all kind of problems today. In the NFC Central, wide open race. Detroit losing today to Minnesota. Last time we heard 10-0, 6-3. Tampa Bay at 4-4-1, trailing Pittsburgh at the moment. Minnesota 4-5. Green Bay rather, vastly improved, 3-5-1. And the Bears whipping up on Washington today, 3-6.
This game is so important for Atlanta, though, because after the St. Louis game, they have New Orleans, Chicago, Washington, 3 teams that they're certainly capable of beating. Then Philadelphia, San Francisco, and the last game of the year for the Falcons is Los Angeles.
And, of course, that game you'd think will have great magnitude as Atlanta is tied with Los Angeles. We had a terrific first half of football. Cardinals take a commanding 24-6 lead into the second. O'Donoghue kicks to Strong, and Ray Strong has some room. Penalty marker goes down as Strong comes out to the 25.
Amazing stat. The Falcons came in averaging 140 yards rushing per game, and they got 36 yards rushing. Look at that third number down on that left column. Actually, Andrews came in averaging 5.2. He's gotten 23 yards on 9 carries. St. Louis has really played tough D.
Look at the two quarterback statistics down at the bottom. Bartkowski 16 out of 22. Hart 13 out of 20.
That's the one thing.
Run back, number 55, personal foul, clipping.
The one thing Bartkowski does not want to do this year is to have to throw every play to stay in a football game. That scoreboard's going to be a pretty heavy thing for him to carry this quarter.
We start the second half. Atlanta ball from their own 6-yard line. 1st and 10. A long way to go. Bartkowski is going to throw on 1st down and goes deep. Almost picked off by Carl Allen, intended for Alfred Jenkins. Tried to come with a bunch early.
He was 3 or 4 yards deep in the end zone, and that ball hit on this side of the 45. That ball was thrown right at 60 yards in the air, but almost intercepted.
Oh, super block by Lynn Kane.
Picked up
Steve Niels.
Look at this throw. But again, this is not bread and butter type Atlanta football. They've got to start rushing that football and just take 3 and then get 7 and stay in the game and play good defense too.
That's a good defensive play by Carl Allen. Now you guess perhaps a draw play. A run by Kane. It gets nothing. Boy, they hit him at the line of scrimmage and belted him backwards. Favron.
When coaches grade films, they give you extra points if you make penetration and do it on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And Favron that time was a yard deep in the Atlanta backfield.
He is not a regular, by the way. Backing up Mark Arneson in this case. But they all are aggressive. It'll be 3rd down and 10 from the 6. No gain. Blitz is on. However, it's picked up. Complete to Jackson. And that'll be enough for a Falcon 1st down. A good throw from Bartkowski.
Bartkowski straightened back up, didn't let the rush bother him, and really threw a strike. Man, that takes a lot of nerve to get back there with that shadows coming across your shoulder. Watch him straighten it up, gets good pass blocking. Man, I mean to tell you, they went out and got a hold of him. Hits Jackson unworthy, huh?
Here's a strike. 3rd down conversion so far. Atlanta just did it again. Out to the 21. A little breathing room for the Falcons now. Bartkowski outside Kane, screen pass coming. Andrews, I'm sorry.
Made some catch, you know it.
William Andrews had to go behind him, off balance, to make the catch. Picked up 3 after this effort.
And it's a tough catch for a fullback to make. He has to turn all the way around. Bartkowski doesn't have a lot of time to throw this perfectly. He had to throw it by somebody. This guy just goes ahead and puts it on you.
Bob Pollard made the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the 24. Atlanta in their own territory, trailing 24-6. Again, Jenkins twirls around. Looks like a 1st down. It's going to be close. Carl Allen stopped him.
We get a lot of passing in this second half. We haven't even seen Hart yet. Quick drop, 2 steps, very safe, even throws it back away from the defender. Good play by Allen.
It is a 1st. They move the sticks. 1st and 10 at the 31 now. Atlanta seems, as we have heard and observed, calm and collected. And they do not lose their poise. Bartkowski's book. Kane flanked out wide to the right. Bartkowski looking. He's got Miller. And he's got him in Cardinal territory. Big Junior Miller, 6'4", 240.
And fast, Pat. He can really run. He gets faster with each stride, and he seems to be learning how to get off the line of scrimmage, which is so darn tough in this league. To the right of your screen, he is going to be gone. And the pass blocking is just superb. All the time in the world, and gets it off just as the late rush by Pollard shows up. That's a real strike. He is some receiver, number 8 is.
Falcon coaches say that the thing that has impressed them the most, other than his athletic ability, is his great improvement as a blocker.
And the other thing is his attitude.
They operate from the Cardinal 35. Draw play to Andrews, and the Cardinals again shut off the rush. Bob Pollard and Rush Brown on top of Andrews.
Slowest thing Junior Miller did was sign his contract. Had a little trouble getting name on the dotted line, and then once that was settled, he did a pretty good job. Barkowski now is 20 of 27 for 251. No interceptions, not yet.
2nd and 8. 33-yard line of St. Louis. Barkowski in the sunshine spotlight at the moment. Everybody else in the shadow. He throws almost a spectacular catch. A penalty marker goes down. It was Wallace Francis who put up the hand and almost brought it down. Carl Allen on the coverage.
They think Kenny Stone might have interfered with Junior Miller. Miller was trying to run a straight. Stone sort of shut him off. And don't forget Francis. He's the one that caught that last touchdown a couple years ago to beat Philadelphia. He is a very fine clutch receiver.
That was in the playoffs.
Yep.
And Atlanta advanced.
28 defense. Illegal contact. First down.
He meets 23.
Well, they don't have a 28.
They do now.
That's the way. Players would like that if they give fictitious numbers. Tommy Kramer's just thrown another touchdown pass. 24-0. Jenkins, Jackson, Francis all in the game. All play to Andrews. Penalty marker down as Andrews bangs away, still on his feet. William Andrews down inside the 10 to about the 7. But a penalty marker down. Lee Nelson dragged him down, but an 18-yard run by Andrews might be called back.
Came in averaging 5'2", and I just have never seen a harder runner than he is. A secondary man, he runs right over a secondary, fellas.
Against the Cardinals. I thought it was interesting talking to some of the Falcon players, saying what the toughest part of the season had been when we asked them, and they said the toughest part was training camp when we had to tackle this guy.
Pridemore and those guys said, finally give us a break, will you, Coach? We don't want to hit Andrews anymore. He's killing us.
1st and goal, Atlanta from the 7. This drive began at their own 6-yard line.
How many of those do you get a year? About 1 or 2, right?
If you get that many of that length, you're lucky. Barkowski fires. Wallace Francis is belted just shy of the 5 by Lee Nelson.
Great play by Nelson. He's the big safety man, the tight safety man. He had this solo coverage, and watch him come up. He's a 200-pounder. Nelson is. The receivers having to worry about the ball. Nelson really made a tough tackle. That's good defense.
That's one you will remember.
Got the attention. They've been tough, though. St. Louis has been tough near that goal line.
2nd and goal from the 5 now. Remember, don't want to be repetitious, but Atlanta had it 1st and goal at the 3 just before the first half ended. Here's Kane. He'll be close. Not only close, he got in. What a run, and a great block by Andrews in front of it. 5-yard touchdown run by Lynn Kane. Watch the block by number 31.
That's the 7th touchdown, rushing touchdown of the year. Look at 31 Andrews kicking him all the way outside. That was on Nelson. Look at this spin. Well, he did a good job rehabbing those legs because he's got them pumping now.
They might be stronger than they ever were. And now Mazzetti, who had problems in the first half. He hit 2, missed 2. He stayed down with and through that one and hit the extra point. 24-13. Here's the touchdown again. And I hope we can see that block by Andrews again.
And good, solid football. Nothing fancy about this. This whole drive was loaded with good catches and good blocking and excellent running.
A 94-yard touchdown drive by Atlanta, and it's 24-13. Roy Green and Mark Bell back deep for St. Louis. That's green in the sunshine. Mazzetti hangs a high one. At the 3. But this guy's dangerous. Fumble! I don't know. Mazzetti is down there signaling first down Atlanta.
Stayed away from the pile, though, didn't he?
Couldn't help but notice that.
That was some drive. That drive took just over 5 minutes. And Hart and company haven't had the ball on offense yet this half. 4:55.
4:55. Kane on a 5-yard touchdown run. 94 yards, 9 plays. Cardinals got the ball back, by the way. Chris Combs made the recovery.
Anderson's back in there. I noticed number 32.
He wanted me to say hello to a very close friend of his in Atlanta. He asked me if I'd do it before the game, and I will. To Michael Kelly. O.J. says hello. Hart, right back to work. Theodis Brown shakes a couple of tacklers, and now the swarm shows up. Look at the Atlanta people around that pile.
Like Piranha, they just started, and the longer he stayed up, the more he got hit.
Joel Williams, I believe, was #1 man to get there, but he had a lot of friends join him quickly.
And Theodis is about 230 pounds and packed. Curry and company, and here they come. Good pursuit.
One time when a second effort would have not done too much good. 3 yards. 2nd and 7 from the 27. Theodis and Otis in the backfield. Hart to Anderson. Juggles, catches. Anderson with a magnificent move. Al Richardson finally made the tackle. Not many people could do that.
And he's hurt again. But that's the O.J. Anderson. That's the move where he can take an inside stop and then sort of slide out and get it started again very quickly. He is hurting. Man, what a move he made to get to the sidelines. And Richardson can run, or he might have broken the play all the way. Hart unloads it quickly. Everybody covered downfield. I think this was a slip screen. They're out there.
It was. It was.
Look at this move. Runs on the sides of his shoes and gets to the outside. And Richardson can run.
First down, Cardinals in Atlanta territory at the 47, and Willard Harrell has replaced Anderson. He has to come sit down. They fake to Harrell. Hart's going deep for Mel Gray, and he turned on the juice, but not quite enough.
Lawrence was in pretty good position, though. That ball had to be perfectly thrown that time. Of course, Mel Gray makes perfect receptions on the long ones. 1971, Mel Gray ran out of Columbia, Missouri, and has been a star. He is a tremendous threat, especially late in the ball game. Ask Dallas. This ball is thrown, but it's just over. Lawrence is getting into the race right there.
That's, as you said, good coverage. He's right there. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 47 with 8:07 left, 3rd quarter. Those signals for a long time and doing a lot of dropping a long time. Setting up the screen to Theodis Brown, and well set. Theodis moves inside the 40 to about the 36-yard line. There's Anderson limping over on the sideline. The first final of the day is the Bears defeated the Redskins 35-21 behind Vince Evans.
Glazebrook had a chance to tackle on the outside. The safety man missed it, and Theodis has good speed and got out there. That was another screen, and that's tough against that 34. Those linebackers drop out of there a long way sometimes.
At the 37, they mark it. 1st and 10, St. Louis. Talk about your offense. Hart had 220 yards at the half, and he's added to that. And trying to put some more up there. The shoulder pads of Theodis Brown, and ricochets back where Atlanta looked like they might have a chance.
Joel Williams had a heck of a chance for an interception. That ball went right on through. Looks like he might be through for the day, and maybe longer.
A sprained left knee is the information we have.
Got the ice under there?
Yep. And I would guess he won't be back. Second and 10 from the 37 now.
Defensive players will be going to their shrink for about 5 straight days on both teams.
Cardinals up 24-13. They moved Marsh out to the left. They have Gray and Tilley out here. Oh. Nothing doing running. That was Willard Harrell, who had a spectacular first half. Joel Williams again, the first hitter.
Linebackers just converged on that, and they all met Harrell just about at the same time. The quick draw, will it work? They catch him, they think, in a blitz situation. Watch this bunch recover and fill it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
2-yard pickup. Clock running at 7:20, third quarter. 3rd and 8. Tilley and Gray both wide to the right. Dave Stief out to the left. Hart, a lot of time. Stief has the catch, number 84. Al Richardson made the tackle. Big, tall receiver.
From Portland State. That's where June Jones used to come. The former Atlanta backup quarterback, right?
Right.
Watch this now. Remember, Hart has only been sacked 1 time. That offensive line's given him protection. Good catch by Steve.
Enough for a Cardinal first down at the Atlanta 17. St. Louis leading 24-13. Hart brings him out with Theodis Brown and Willard Harrell, the 2 running backs behind him. That's Harrell. Almost dropped it. Picked it back up. Scoops around the corner. Penalty marker down.
You're right. He bobbled a handoff, but kept a hold of it. Must have been holding down there on a linebacker. I can't figure out what was happening. Doug Marsh, the tight end, was probably trying to block down there. This is a very vital defensive series. If Atlanta's going to get into this ball game, they've got to stop this. They can't give up 7 here.
There goes the flag. There goes another one. And there goes Willard Harrell out of bounds.
Joel Williams, Mr. Fast linebacker, just one of them that they've got on that Atlanta side. Boy, they move, don't they?
All of them. Extremely quick.
Joel is the leading sacker on the team with 9. You got to be quick at 209 pounds to be running past people on the blitz.
Get the indication as to what the violation was in just a minute from Fred Silva.
Offensive holding, number 87. First down.
Was Marsh. First down, 20. Line of scrimmage back at the 27. It is indeed a very important defensive series for Atlanta.
And for Dierdorf and company, too, that offensive line, they have their work cut out on this series.
Miami at Los Angeles later today. Falcons tied for first with them in the NFC West. Hart drops. No blitz. Lots of time. Wobbly throw for Tilley. Bob Glazebrook was the Atlanta defender.
And what a play Glazebrook made. I believe that ball would have been caught. Tilley comes down with those. He goes up and yo-yos them back down.
It's got to be hard to see as that sun comes through the arches up in the top of the stadium, and he was looking back into one of those.
Good blocking by the Cardinal guys up front. He was just out of bounds, but it's good recovery by the safety man.
There are those arches of light. Beautiful day. Can't remember a better day at this time of the year in St. Louis. Just perfect.
You play cornerback, there are no good days, you know. It's tough.
On second down, no blitz from Atlanta. Willard Harrell made the reception. Jim Laughlin made the tackle.
Are they tackling? Suddenly the intensity with which they're sticking people on the Atlanta side right now, you can hear them. They're thuds. Hart, quick drop. Going to that short intermediate one, and Laughlin makes a very Ohio State type tackle. Hart Hart is now 18 for 28 for 286. And this is a big third down in the whole ball game right here.
3rd and 13 it is. 3 wide receiver situation for St. Louis. Atlanta does blitz. The ball goes straight up in the air. And we'll see O'Donoghue. I believe that was Edgar Fields.
Former kickoff returner earlier in the game.
Put the heat on.
From the nose, they twisted. They did a blitz. You can see him exchanging positions. He did a good job.
He sure did.
He just beat Bostic right going after Hart.
So O'Donoghue then from 37 yards out with Roger Worley holding.
Got a strong leg, hasn't he?
Yes. About 6'6". High and straight and good. O'Donoghue makes it. St. Louis Cardinals 27 now. The Atlanta Falcons 13 with 5:12 left in the 3rd quarter. Got it teed up.
11 plays, 56 yards to get the 3-pointer, and we could have a 27-all tie. This is going to be some kind of a game.
Ray Strong is chased deep into the end zone again by O'Donoghue and out. His last 2 kickoffs have been 75 yards. Steelers beat Tampa Bay 24-21. Pittsburgh starting to gather things together again. That makes their record 6-4. Makes Tampa Bay 4-5-1. But don't count them out yet. Not in that division.
Yeah, some offensive series for the 6-year quarterback you see right there. Number 1 out of California. He has grown into the job beautifully, hasn't he?
That's the Cardinals scoring drive that just was culminated with the field goal by O'Donoghue. Last time the Falcons had it, they took it 94 yards, kept it 5 minutes, put it into the end zone. Bartkowski's got to go to work now. Knocked down by Carl Allen on a fine play.
Allen was the one that turned the Philadelphia game around. He took a Jaworski aerial 70-some-odd yards for a touchdown and sort of turned on the entire defense. This play was very good. It's a deep sideline and really broken off. Ball's thrown well. He just made a superb play.
The intended receiver was Alfred Jenkins, so it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 20. Saints lead the Eagles 7-0. 1st quarter. Saints still haven't won a game. The Eagles with the best record in football. Outside Andrews gets away from one, fights his way to get back to the line of scrimmage. Big down coming. Bob Pollard, Cardinal tackler.
Favre was hit on that tackle too, but it looks to me like the St. Louis defense is on the spot and they're playing very well. 2 good plays in a row.
So it'll be 3rd down and 11 now. They actually lost a yard from the 19.
This is the formation that bothered the St. Louis people. They'll come with that slot with those 3 good outside receivers. Oh, they got Junior Miller in there. I take it back.
And they also have the 3 good wide receivers. 1 running back. Jackson is out wide to the right. Jenkins and Francis to the left. Looking. Penalty marker goes down, and so does Bartkowski. Pass intended or in the direction of Junior Miller. Ron Jankowski is the one who deflected it.
Eric Williams really gave the quarterback a shot. The linebacker filled it very quickly.
There comes number 55.
Bartkowski was trying to hit Junior Miller doing his turn out.
Penalty marker was, of course, against Atlanta. And, of course, the Cardinals refuse, and John James comes in. Bengals 3, Oakland Raiders nothing. In Oakland, Mark Bell, Roy Green back deep for the Cardinals. And the other one, I believe, is Ken Stone. James hangs it high, very high. Chases Mark Bell all the way back. He's still sliding around. Penalty marker goes down again. Robert Pennywell was the Atlanta tackler. It's down quickly.
And St. Louis, the players got down there and tried not to clip. They tried to get everybody, not even touch them. One of them inadvertently must have hit somebody in the back.
Good kick by James.
Must have been a 5-5 hang time there.
Was up by the lights at one time and went 47 yards. Jim Hannafin.
Boy, does he back his players.
Number 29 on the run back. Illegal use of the hands. First down.
That is Gerard Williams, number 29.
And he really did that, Pat, to keep from clipping somebody, you know.
So they move it back to the Cardinal 25. Jim Hart thinking things over, and he'll have some time to do that before a packed house Busch Stadium in St. Louis. One of our viewfinders in a CBS camera on the sideline. That's what the cameraman looks at. But boy, they've been looking good today, haven't they? That's his shot from the sideline camera, and it's been excellent. That's with just a little bit over a minute to play at the Meadowlands. Danilo a field goal. The Giants lead Dallas 38-35. Hart to Marsh. Stuck by Buddy Curry and Joel Williams, but nevertheless 6 yards.
Hart is now 19 of 29 for right at 300 yards. He's close.
Over on the St. Louis bench, that was, I believe, Eric Williams with his jersey off. Buffalo 7-0 over the Jets early. 2nd and 5 at the 30. 3:20 left, third quarter. Cardinals 27, Falcons 13. Harlan to draw to Harrell. That is Jeff Murrow who made that play, and it was an excellent defensive maneuver.
Both defenses now are sort of rising to meet the offense, but they've both been sort of strung out. Never see two hotter quarterbacks than Steve and Jim Hart today.
Theodis Brown and Willard Harrell, running backs for the Cardinals. Jim Hart still the quarterback, as he has been throughout the day, and a spectacular day it's been for him. Cardinals operate now with 3 wide receivers. Mark Bell is the third. Other than the regulars, Hart is sacked by linebacker Joel Williams, and what a move he made.
Joel Williams just got his 10th and a half sack. I don't know how you get a half of one, but he just beat the blocker just with quickness that time.
Just watch 58 flash in there and see if you can see him beat that blocker.
Come from the right of your screen. He just beat Cotton, the young guard, just cleanly.
4th down, and believe it or not, the first punt of the day for St. Louis. Larry Swider is the Cardinal kicker. Anthony Anderson standing back deep for Atlanta. Falcons trying to block it. They don't make it. Signals for the fair catch and does so at the 45, where the Falcons will take over. Anderson made the fair catch. So we got 2 minutes 4 seconds left to play in the third quarter. St. Louis 27, Atlanta 13. It's going to be a great finish. Line. That means that's the final. The Giants beat Dallas 38-35.
That means Philadelphia be in the driver's seat if they can beat New Orleans.
And right now they're trailing New Orleans 7-0. Dallas record now 7-3. Giants 2-8. Here is Lynn Kane sliding, slipping for about 8.
Markowski is 22 of 29 for 252 yards. He's been sacked twice and no interceptions.
Stafford Mays of the Cardinals made that last tackle. Lynn Kane, 7 touchdowns rushing, including one today. 2nd and 2 at the 47. Markowski gives to Andrews, and Andrews pelts into the secondary, stays on his feet. Wow. Lee Nelson made the tackle.
He ran right over Ken Stone, number 23, who's a pretty darn good tackler, and I mean, he just shrugged him off. We don't like to keep building people up that don't deserve it, but I'm telling you, Andrews is a football player. Boom, there's one. And Nelson comes from the offside and gets him on the back.
That may be the only way to get him down.
Smartest way to get him down.
Here's Jenkins.
They got a block, and they do. It's a good block on Worley.
First down, Atlanta. On the move at the 27. The Vikings have scored again. Dan Meyer again a field goal. It's 27-0 over Detroit. Bartkowski fires outside out of the hands of Alfred Jenkins. You won't see that happen too much. Carl Allen, the defender.
There's Jenkins, the move, short out. This ball just goes on through. Andrews is now 66 yards on 12 carries.
In Los Angeles, they're underway, and Miami scores first and takes the lead over the Rams. All the sunspots are just about gone from the playing surface now. The field almost entirely in shadows. As Bartkowski on second down drops behind good protection, going deep. Touchdown, Wallace Francis. What a throw and what a catch. 27-yard touchdown strike from Bartkowski to Francis.
And the Atlanta offensive line picked up the blitz. Cardinals came with at least one linebacker. Let's see which one of these linebackers come. Both of them come. They're twisting. They're picked up. Good job up front. This ball is thrown beautifully, and you can't catch him any better than this. And Nelson has pretty good coverage on him.
Can't throw it much better than that either. Mazzetti with James Holding, trying to make it 27-20. Just sort of knew this was going to be a great football game, didn't you? That's what it is. With 30 seconds left in the third quarter, after the touchdown pass from Bartkowski to Francis, it's St. Louis 27, Atlanta 20. And stick around.
Francis has 4 catches for 50 yards and the very important TD. Wouldn't be anything like an onside. They're going to kick it deep still early in the game, don't you think?
Really, that's not a bad idea right now, but I think they will keep it deep. Mazzetti hangs it high. Roy Green at the 5. Look out. Good tackle. That's by Kenny Johnson.
It's Francis's 3rd touchdown catch of the year. The crowd now is beginning to call for it.
Should have heard the roar here when they announced that the Dallas-New York score was final. Giants beat Dallas 38-35 on a 27-yard field goal with a minute to go by Joe Danilo. Here it's 27-20 in favor of St. Louis.
And Jim Hart probably feels he can't run the ball very well against this team anyway, so he's going to have to load it up.
They, of course, are the best. Had been going into this game, Atlanta, against the rush. Here's Willard Harrell, and they will perhaps show you why they are the best. He is hit first by Wilson Famuina and taken down by Joel Williams, and Atlanta is coming on.
And Joel Williams was released by the Miami Dolphins. He just came around camp and thought he could play. They couldn't wait to put him in a uniform. Can 58 play a little bit?
I'll say.
Watch this chase. Great play by Famuina. Penetration. Look at this.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score St. Louis 27, Atlanta Stadium in St. Louis. It'll be 2nd and 19 for the St. Louis Cardinals, who lead Atlanta 27-20 as we begin the fourth quarter of play.
O.J. Anderson has 1 carry for 8 yards, and the big man is not in there right now.
He's hurt. Sprained his knee, and he won't be back. Hart. 2nd and 19, fires. Pass was complete. Officials looking right into it. Willard Harrell, the receiver. The Packers under Bart Starr have really turned things around. They almost beat Pittsburgh last week, and they lead the San Francisco 49ers now in the fourth quarter 20-13.
Jim Hart has just got to keep loading it up. He's putting all the backs out of the backfield. He's not even keeping anybody in the block.
Big down here, 3rd and 12. Blitzing down, but let's see if Atlanta comes. An extra linebacker rush, batted down and almost intercepted by Don Smith.
He's the big play man. The #1 draft choice a year ago. He blocked the field goal that turned around the Buffalo game. Look at this 65 on the twist. Gets penetration and gets the arms up, a la the Dallas Cowboys.
Bounced off those arms like they were made out of sheet steel.
A little bit of pressure on this young man, huh?
Swider, number 10.
He kicks a low kick. You can sometimes get a pretty good run back.
They tried to block the last one. This time they're trying that run back. Kenny Johnson is back, and this is a good kick. Chases Johnson back to the 35. Atlanta trying to set up a return. They get it back to the just outside their own 45, where Bartkowski will go to work from there. Jeff McIntyre made the tackle. 14:02 left. From an unusual view, an incredible hook, doing an excellent job. Another guy's doing an excellent job is Steve Bartkowski. Set up a screen to Andrews. Andrews cuts back inside and rambles. First down, Atlanta in St. Louis territory. Ken Stone got underneath that time.
St. Louis fired the outside right linebacker, and you'll see him come to the right of your screen. Bartkowski saw it coming. They handle it. Dumps it off, a perfect call. The slip screen right. Watch this. Watch Andrews now. Now he doesn't care about it. Now let's put it down and go get it. Rough.
Carney and Niels and Rush Brown over there to help Stone out. At the end of 3 quarters, those were the statistics. Very offensive game. Also very enjoyable. Pitches out to Andrews again, and again he rambles and bangs. Almost another first down.
Sometimes during the year, Lehman Bennett hasn't been able to let him get 100 yards when he could have, like the New Orleans game. And Andrews doesn't complain. He figures it'll come. It'll come in time, and he's going to leave right now. That's some running back there.
James Mayberry replaces him. Look at Andrews, and you can understand why he might get stung a couple of times. And the defenders do too.
Good basic straight football.
Hannafin of St. Louis. Now with concern and good cause. Mayberry and Kane, running back tandem for Atlanta. Bartkowski out to Jenkins. And Jenkins wrestled to the ground by Roger Worley.
That's where a great veteran, especially at a cornerback spot, makes the sure tackle. Went for the body, wrapped him up, and inhaled him. Didn't make a classic pretty tackle. Made it sure. Can't let this fella get loose.
First down, Atlanta. At the St. Louis 27.
Get Junior Miller under control.
Junior Miller is split wide to the right. The 2 wide receivers are wide to the left. They give to Kane. Looking for some running room and picking a few before Charles Baker hit him inside the 25 at the 24.
Remember the day we saw him have against Oakland when the team was getting blown out? He had 3 touchdowns, I believe, that day.
I think they got beat, what, 50-19? And he scored all the touchdowns. Browns, who are getting tougher and tougher every week, over the Colts 28-13. That's not a final. Harold Carmichael scored a touchdown from the Eagles from Jaworski, so his streak remains intact. They've tied New Orleans at 7 apiece. Andrews is back. Wallace Francis was the receiver, and he paid for that catch.
Carl Allen made another great tackle. That Cardinal defense has been pressed, but I feel like they've played well. I feel like that Atlanta just has a lot of talent at those skilled positions. The quick out, 2-step drop. We've seen it before.
Big down here, 3rd and 4 at the 21. And all 3 of those skilled wide receivers are in the game for Atlanta: Jackson, Jenkins, and Francis.
Bartkowski is 26 of 36 for 300 yards.
Atlanta, after not being quite sure of Bartkowski's case, Bartkowski 26 of 36 for 300 yards. Jim Hart 20 of 32 for 299. Pass defense is increasingly difficult to perform. Pitches back to Andrews. He bangs near a first down. I don't think he quite has it, but it's going to be 4th and short, I believe. I shouldn't make those judgments, I guess. Curtis Greer stopped him.
They just pulled it outside, and he's going to cut back and find one crack in that seam and try to get the first. And I guess of all the backs I've seen this year, and I'd have to say I have not had a chance to see Earl Campbell, but I'd like to give this guy the ball on 3rd and short. He and Walter Payton.
I'd like to give it to him anytime.
He's now at 78 yards on 14 carries. Oh.
He got it. Atlanta first down at the St. Louis 17, 1st and 10. Cardinals lead by 7. But Atlanta, after being down 24-6 at the half, has roared back. Pitches back to Kane this time. Kane swings down inside the 15 to about the 12. Right now, let's go back to Brent Musburger and the NFL today.
Well, thank you very much, Pat. Tied at 7. Archie Manning struck again for the Saints against the Philadelphia Eagles on a 17-yarder to Wes Chandler. And the winless Saints lead the Eagles 14-7. Let's send you back now to Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshire.
This one here is a dandy as well. Cardinals up by 7 over Atlanta.
That was some 5 yards to get on first down there.
2nd and 5. Andrews butts straight ahead inside the 10 to about the 9. Bob Pollard and the rest of the red Cardinal defense.
Lehman Bennett right now has told Steve to go with that big offensive line. You can see Scott there. He's 265. Ken is about 265 or 70 at left tackle. Bryant is 275 at right tackle. Van Note's in there 255.
Thielman is the little guy at 247.
Pretty good drive blockers too. They're coming off that ball.
Ron Jankowski and Bill Acker go in to try to beef up the Cardinal defense. Lehman Bennett's troops on the attack. 3rd and 2, 8:45 left. They're at the 9. Kane to the outside. He'll score. Lynn Kane, his 2nd touchdown of the day, and he's going to the dressing room, it looks like.
And you know, look at that. Andrews is going after him. Half the team is out of sight of our cameras and everything. They're behind the local Federale down there.
They come back.
Short yardage, once in a while you bounce outside. There's nobody home. I don't know where the cornerback went, but I'll guarantee you Hannafin's going to find out. You got to seal off the outside.
Andrews got another good block.
I believe Allen just got caught inside, huh?
I think he did. And if Mazzetti and James can get it together, we have a definite possibility of an overtime. Mazzetti, a line shot, but it's good. It is 27-27 with still 8.5 minutes plus left to play.
And this was not a finesse series for this. This was go out and let's see if we can dig him and get him off the line of scrimmage. Boy, there's some football player there.
Roy Green and Mark Bell back deep for St. Louis. It is 27-27. Good kick. Good kick. Chases Green way deep in the end zone. And he decides again not to bring it out.
Eddie LeBaron, the general manager of the Falcons, just stuck his head in the door, and we said, what are you trying to do, kill us? But he's helped draft this team and put it together, and it's a darn good-looking football team.
I'll tell you what. The whole Atlanta organization is very solid.
Wait till they get a draft in that secondary, pick up a couple of people. I'm not saying these young people do not play good football. I just have a feeling that's what they'll probably go for.
San Diego 3-0. Cardinals with the football, 1st and 10 at their own 20. Nobody's got this match won yet. Hart under pressure. Looking for Merrill Gray. They might have had a chance, but Hart was under pressure. Rollin Lawrence back there with him with help from Kenny Johnson.
That's the play that scares you to death with Mel Gray coming across, and he had the whole field to work. Jimmy'd like to have that one back, I think. You did the first game he ever played in this league, I think, Patrick.
Right, I did.
In those days, he'd duck people and then throw it. Offensive line looked like a screen pass on most of those plays.
Been in that position a long time. In fact, 15 years the quarterback. There was some talk during the offseason that he might not come back this year. But thankfully, they got their problems worked out, and Jim Hart will finish his career as a Cardinal, as it should be. Setting up the screen to Theodis Brown. Oh, what a play. Rick Bias, as good as you'll ever see.
He even beat the blocker. The blocker was set up. He went in and took the tackle so fast the blocker couldn't hit him.
38's the key number on this play.
Boy, it is. And he read it. He dropped back. They're playing a little bit of a prevent, sort of a nickel defense, they should say. Watch him come up and just beat the blocker, make the tackle. Excellent. That's Glazebrook.
It's Glazebrook. I'm sorry, because Bob Glazebrook ought to get a lot of credit for that play. 3rd and 13. Hart drops again. Has a completed pass to Theodis Brown, but not enough nearly for a first down. Buddy Curry. And that Atlanta defense is fired up.
And they're not making individual tackles in some cases. They get you 2 or 3 at a time. Here's what happens if you catch it in the middle. You can hear the trains coming down the tracks. Don't think the receivers don't begin to listen, because they're human beings, you know. And the people start coming.
They're all around. Larry Swider. And you're behind him. Ooh. Good rip for this one. Chases Kenny Johnson back. Johnson gets around, gets a block, and swings up the sideline. Johnson out to the 45-yard line where the Falcons will take over. Favron made the tackle.
As this game had a little bit of everything, that's one of the good punt returns I've seen. They set up the wall. It's hard to do that these days. Watch it set up. He'll give a little ground to get that first big one without a clip. This is hard to do. There's one. There's two.
It was a 55-yard kick by Swider. He's getting a lot of attention.
It sure is.
Here's Andrews. What a unique running style he has.
He's a lot quicker than he looks, too. You know, he gets his speed in about the second step. He's very strong but quick.
You and I were talking yesterday. He reminds me a little bit of Art Malone in his heyday.
That's right. A little bit of a wild runner, too. He looks for different things. Right now, that St. Louis defense has been softened up a little bit, and they got some second-line people in there.
Here's Kane. Andrews got 6. Fumble. Bartkowski is over hustling. And off. St. Louis, you can see the dismay and the discouragement because Bartkowski got it back. Rush Brown was over there chasing it with him.
Good-looking tackle to force this ball out. And a great play by the quarterback. That's Rush Brown. He's played some kind of a game. Watch Bartkowski out of nowhere.
Ooh. The Vikings, who scored 39 points behind Steve Dills last week against Washington, got 34 today with Tommy Kramer at quarterback. And don't forget about them. That improves their record to 5-5, and Detroit's having all kind of problems.
Tough third down call here.
Bartkowski back. Protection is adequate. Oh, good play by Carl Allen. And we'll have to have a look at John James. Wallace Francis was the intended receiver.
The good under pattern, and Carl Allen really made another great play. Happiness is. Here it is. Let's see how the blocking held up. They're battling that line of scrimmage. A couple of big arms up in his way. Ball was thrown well. That's just good coverage.
James back, standing at his 30. Roy Green, Ken Stone. High, Good kick by John James. Takes an Atlanta bounce. They are down there to down it. And they do at the 15. Nobody does that better than John James. Ray Strong is down there to put it down, number 25.
That was as high as the arch.
How about this score? Miami 14-0 in the second quarter over Los Angeles.
Wonder who's playing quarterback.
That's of some interest, I would think, to Atlanta fans. 40-yard kick by James, but that's not the whole story.
Jim Hart's got to be awfully careful. He's got to throw the ball, but he's got to throw it to his people.
5:04 left to play. 1st and 10 at the 15. Hart fakes to Harrell, gets it out to Gray. Diergorf in front. Gray with some room. Mel Gray with, of course, a lot of speed. He's got a first down. He's going to have a lot more. Gray gets it done all alone.
Joel Williams caught him from behind.
30-yard pickup on a pass that looked like it would be stymied at the line of scrimmage.
You've seen Mel Gray beat Philadelphia in the last minute. You've seen him beat Dallas in the last play. This is supposed to be a screen to the right side. Watch him decide, okay. And now it's a seek and destroy thing, and now he turns it on. He doesn't do the 9-200 anymore, but he can still run. Look at Joel Williams. Look at the linebacker. Oh, gosh.
That's a guy with a 50 on his back, catching a guy with an 8.
Played at Wisconsin lacrosse. Watch this play by Mel Gray. He's got some Harrell out in front of him, too.
And now we come back on a Cardinal first down at the 46. Hart to Gray again, knocked out of bounds. Should be Rollin Lawrence. It is.
The quick out, they don't rest him either, even having to run 45 yards or so. Come right back to him.
Picked up 5, make it 2nd and 5 at the 49. O'Donohue has a very strong leg. They need a first down in a little bit to get him in range, and that's all. 27 all. Cardinals have all 3 of their timeouts left. The Falcons have 2. Fake to Theodis. Hart fires, caught by Tilly. What a hit. Incomplete, it's called. Wow. If he gets up.
I think it was Tom Pridemore that hit Tilly at the very top. Oh, that's like coming down on cement.
From a high altitude, because Pat Tilly really got up in the air in an attempt to make that catch.
The Atlanta people are helping.
Those are Atlanta trainers, yes.
Yep. Boy. Hart tried to get him to the corner, and the coverage was good enough over there where he couldn't do it. And Pridemore caught him in sort of a little flat for a corner. It didn't quite get it upfield. Now watch this. That is a long way to fall. It was Kenny Johnson, I believe, that made the tackle.
I believe that's correct. The second St. touchdown. 3rd and 5. Mark Bell has replaced Pat Tilly. Big down for St. Louis. Big down for Atlanta. For Willard Harrell. Holy smoke. Joel Williams came up with that rip.
We've seen some of the best tackles in this game. It's the slip screen to the outside. It should work against the 34, right? Joel Williams just beat the blocker.
Again beat the blocker.
Can't believe Miami cut him. He was the last cut one year.
They were trying to slip him by because they thought nobody knew about him. The Atlanta scouting people did. Out of bounds. Kenny Johnson came back, signaled for a fair catch, let the ball bounce, and Atlanta will take over at their own 7-yard line. They have had one drive that went 94 yards already in this half. 4:25 left to play. A 42-yard kick. Score tied at 27-27. By the way, in that Ram game, excuse me, Tom, in the Ram game, David Woodley is the Miami quarterback, and they lead the Rams 14-0.
You know, it's amazing this game. Both teams and individuals are playing at almost their ultimate possibilities, you know. That was one of the great punts I've seen this year, just kicked.
Barkowski operates from the 7. Drops to the end zone. Fires complete. A good throw to Alfred Jenkins. Now that's the mark of a great maturity of Barkowski. A few years ago, he would have drilled that ball. That time he just floated it in.
Floated it right over Charles Baker, number 52, a linebacker. Watch how instead of just gunning it and not getting it there, he takes a little off and lifts it up over the linebacker, and a great out move right on the edge.
First down Atlanta at the 28. The give is to Kane. Kane struggles for a few. Steve Neals is the first Cardinal defender to get there.
William Andrews went through the hole trying to block that time and ran into a linebacker, and it's incredible. Knocked him all the way over backwards, but they really blocked for one another very well in that backfield.
2nd and 6 at the 32. Junior Miller checks out.
5 yards on first down.
The 3 wide receivers set up again. Jackson, Jenkins, and Francis. 2nd and 6. Barkowski gives the appearance at least, but he was going to throw, but this is Kane. First down Atlanta. Out to the 40. Well, that was Andrews. I'm sorry.
He just gets up and walks back to the huddle.
Yeah.
So that's just another run. He got knocked sideways, got hit up in the air.
Baker made the tackle. They do block so well for each other.
And he delivers punishment. He'll cut back against it. Rush Brown has moved over the way he should. He just got back up and walked to the huddle. Like just another carry.
First down Atlanta. Pat Tilley, we were told, might be back. Going deep is Barkowski. Oh, boy. Intended for Wallace Francis, and he almost had it.
Great coverage, too. Roger Worley was right there. Another classic matchup. Neither team wants to crack. They bend a little bit, don't they?
Jim Carney over on the sideline, who will not be back.
About the other day when Breheny was telling us they gave him a surprise Irish wake for his 30th birthday, and they all showed up carrying a casket, and they were dressed in tuxedos, almost scared Carney to death.
It'll be 2nd and 10 Atlanta at their own 40. Clock stopped at the moment at 2:55 left to play in the game. Fake to Andrews. Throw out to Kane.
He can't believe it, can he? It's soft, too.
Could see him looking upfield to check out where the Cardinal defenders might be. Miller comes back in the St. Louis defensive huddle. Pressure on them at the moment. Pressure on everybody at the moment.
Mazzetti from what, 40 yards? They need to get down inside the 30, don't they, somewhere close?
He had 2. They had one last week from 50, perhaps just a little longer than 50. So they need a couple of first downs. 3rd down. They fumble the snap. Barkowski struggles to get it back. He does. A penalty marker goes down. It'll be illegal procedure against Atlanta. Cardinals.
I think Barkowski came out with the ball, but that might be a break just to take the illegal procedure.
Somebody must have.
Number 10. Before the snap.
Well, that verifies it. They moved before the snap. Barkowski did.
He can't move anything before the snap. Let's see what happens. He may have. That didn't look to me like he moved early. He looked like he might have pulled away from center a little bit.
I think that's what happened. Got to run the play over. It's still 3rd down, but they need 15 now from their own 35. Bartkowski with all kinds of time. Pass is caught by Francis. Incomplete. It's called, and he is really nailed by Carl Allen. Francis is still down. Ken Stone also involved.
It was some kind of a shot. I thought he made the catch. Did he make the catch and he was out of bounds, or did he drop the ball?
They call it an incomplete catch.
Bartkowski moved to his left in the pocket, had plenty of time.
As Ken Stone that delivered the shot.
Some defensive play.
Time remaining just over 2.5 minutes. Score tied at 27-27.
Francis is okay. He's walking over to the Atlanta bench.
89 took some vicious tackle. And as happened on the other side of the field when Tilley got hit, the St. Louis Trainers were on top of the situation immediately. And James again nails one way back deep for Mark Bell, who handles it just outside the 10. And the Cardinals now have a long way to go.
Now, you said that O'Donoghue has a very strong leg. Can he reach it from 50? Is that what we're talking about?
I'm sure he can, yes.
Knowing Hannafin, though, I think he'd rather get closer than that.
That was a 52-yard kick by John James. Brown behind Hart. Tilley is back in the game, by the way. Hart's going deep. Pass picked off by Kenny Johnson in the struggle with Mark Bell, for whom the pass was intended. And Atlanta gets the ball right back.
The rookie from Mississippi State makes the biggest play of the year, obviously. He was in pretty good shape. Actually, it looked to me like he might have been beaten if the ball had been able to be thrown 70 yards. They're playing deep. They didn't get a lot of rush on, and Hart looks like he has an open receiver. Doesn't quite get it far enough. That's a good play for a rookie cornerback, huh?
And a lot of people have been trying to pick on him a little bit. That ought to give him a considerable amount of confidence.
Mazzetti had one field goal blocked from 50 yards, and then he made one.
2:20 left. Bartkowski gives to Andrews. Bob Pollard. The Browns again win a squeaker, 28-27 over Baltimore.
Now the 2-minute warning will save one of the timeouts, so they don't have to burn one of those.
2-minute warning has been indicated right now. Cleveland's record, by the way, is improved to 7-3. And down in the first half. Bartkowski calling. And throwing to Francis. Incomplete. Francis can't believe it.
I can't either.
Well, let's look.
Okay, it's the short out. They're trying to get inside or around the 40, right, for the kick.
Well, he had his back to us, so you couldn't tell. So it'll be third down for Atlanta now. Clock stopped, 1:55 left to play. Tie at 27.
Junior Miller's in there with the 3 outside receivers.
Bartkowski with good time. Pass picked off by Rush Brown. The nose tackle. Rush Brown reached up and plucked Bartkowski's pass to get O'Donoghue in range. Here is Harrell. Willard Harrell flies for about 5. That'll help. Buddy Curry stopped him.
Got to get to the 30, huh?
Miami 14 with David Woodley quarterbacking. Los Angeles 7. They scored on a block punt. Los Angeles did. Eagles have taken the lead now over the Saints, 17-14. Harrell got 7 on that carry. Line of scrimmage at 34. Hart gonna throw. He has Tilley, and Tilley is wide open. And he has a St. Louis first down as well. Kenny Johnson over to make the tackle.
And Atlanta did not give the rookie right cornerback any help at all. They didn't kick a linebacker out there or anything. And Hart just went right to work on it. The quick drop. Whammo.
Timeout, St. Louis. Left. St. Louis with 2 timeouts left. Hart gets to Harrell. Taken down from behind by Joel Williams. What a game he's played. Clock still running.
Just made it a longer field goal from there, too. That's a big distance.
If they tried it now, it would be a 50-yarder. Roger Worley pacing up and down on the sideline. He's been through a lot of these. They went through one last week when they lost to Dallas with 45 seconds to go. The Packers over the 49ers, 23-16, Hart to throw. Atlanta intercepted. Al Richardson came up with the interception for the Falcons. First down, Atlanta. 30 seconds left to play. They have 2 timeouts left. Bartkowski drops. Fires. A pass caught by Alfred Jackson near midfield.
And Nelson was right on him.
20-yard pickup as Jackson comes up limping. Atlanta takes a time. First down, Atlanta. 22 seconds left to play. They need 10 for a first. They're at the 50. Bartkowski fires. It is caught again by Wallace Francis. And they have the first down. He does not get out of bounds. The clock now has stopped.
If I had to pick one receiver to catch it with people banging on him, I'd have to go with Wallace Francis. Imagine he used to be with Buffalo and they let him go. And he knows he's going to get hit. Earlier, you remember, he got almost knocked out in front of the Cardinal bench.
That was Stone who hit him before, and it was Stone who hit him again. 17-7 Bills Jets. 27-27 in St. Louis. Atlanta, St. Louis. Crowd comes to its feet. Bartkowski drops, no blitz. Bart throws complete and out of bounds. They did exactly what they needed to do. That was Alfred Jackson who made the catch. 8 seconds left to play, and now enter Mazzetti.
Now, people have made 50% of the field goals this year against St. Louis. 9 of 18. They will obviously try to block it. Boy, that was a good pattern.
Good pattern.
And you know they're trying to keep everybody to the inside. Those cornerbacks were playing outside.
They got Mazzetti 9 yards closer. John James, the holder, will kneel at the 36, so this is from 46 yards out from the goalpost.
Kicked a 44-yarder against the wind a week ago.
No good. To the right.
Nobody moved down in that end zone. I couldn't tell. They looked like they were painted down there.
It was close. It was far enough, but just right.
84 almost got a hand on it.
Oh, look at this. Look how close it is. Wow.
Mel Gray.
I would think Falcons have 3 defensive backs about 30 yards deep. Hart going to throw the alley-oop. Atlanta has the interception. Rollin Lawrence as they just drop back, and we will go in St. Louis into overtime between Atlanta and St. Louis.
We've done some football games that were exciting this year, but this is by far the best contest I've seen. Never seen such good play by people on both sides all day long.
Each team in overtime, in this overtime period, and in regular season they only play 1, has 2 timeouts. Otherwise, it's just like starting a new game. By the way, another score in that Los Angeles game. Miami has scored again. Touchdown pass to Nat Moore, and they lead the Rams 21-7.
Remember what we watched the Cardinals practice out here? The onside kick.
O'Donohue lines another deep kickoff, and Strong takes it this time 2 yards deep in the end zone, but this time he brings it out. Strong ducking under. Gets out just outside the 22, about the 22. Overtime in St. Louis. 1 15-minute period. Said we're going into overtime.
I thought so.
That is Andrews. Out for 2 or 3, and not much more than that. Ron Jankowski stopped him.
How about him for a third-round draft choice?
How about him for a first-round draft choice?
Anywhere he wants to go.
30 out of 46, 363 yards for Bartkowski. 4 yards for Andrews on that carry. This time it's Kane, and Kane bounces out to about the 28-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down.
It almost looks like he's getting ready to lose yardage, and you start looking down the sticks, and he's pretty close, you know. Almost got to the 30-yard line.
Lehman. Big car, and all of a sudden you get 25 miles to the gallon. This is Kane again. He should have the first down, and does, with that extra surge.
Still going forward, over the top.
Ken Stone stopped him. Strong has taken Kane's place. Back there with Andrews. On first down, Bartkowski's going to throw. The Cardinals trying to put the heat on. He has it. Alfred Jenkins across the middle. Atlanta first down.
Oh, is he some motor scooter coming across? Give yourself up. That time, Bartkowski had a heck of a time getting the ball off. Got a lot of pressure. Got a little fill from the left side by the linebacker. They handled it. He stayed right in there and gunned it. Worley making the stop.
Linebacker Baker, Charles Baker, on the blitz that last time. Line of scrimmage will be the 49 now. 1st and 10 for Atlanta. That's Mazzetti down talking to Pridemore and Glazebrook, I believe. Pitch back to William Andrews. And look at him surge. Look at this. Look at Andrews.
Well, we don't need to talk over this replay.
Watch the last 5 yards of this.
Mrs. Andrews, your boy can play. Got the first down, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He comes from Thomasville, Georgia.
Which I understand is one of the great high school hotbeds of sports. Is that true?
All that part of South Georgia is.
They have, what, 2 10,000-seat stadiums in a small town?
Thomasville. And the town is, well, in the neighborhood of 30,000, I think.
They're tearing and scraping.
1st and 10, Atlanta. And the Cardinal 40. This is Ray Strong. Strong with some running room. And he barrels down to inside the 25 to about the 22. Ken Stone on the tackle.
Pretty fresh looking run. Strong hasn't been used much today, just on run backs and all. And he came out of there and he hit it a lick.
Andrews, another good block.
Good block by Scott, too.
He's had a good game.
Francis got one. Andrews, good block all the way around.
Watch this block by 31.
Hit Nelson, turned him outside, gave Strong the inside lane.
1st and 10, Atlanta at the St. Louis 25. I'd hate to go back and try to pick out the highlights of this one.
Be a 3-hour show.
Overtime time left is just over 11 minutes. And Mazzetti is going to have a shot. And that's what they want to get him, as Bartkowski just burrows straight ahead.
Looked like he broke the count and went early, didn't it, for a minute?
Would you go ahead and do it now? Try to field goal now and not risk a fumble? Or would you wait till 4th down?
I think you might go on in there and get what you can get. If something breaks loose, you get 7. It's over 2.
Well, you'd only get 6 because they don't try the extra point.
Yeah, that's true.
Mazzetti, number 4. Strong and Andrews. And this is Ray Strong cutting upfield. Strong. That'll do it. Atlanta. 21-yard touchdown run by Ray Strong.
Look at that Atlanta team coming out on the field. Do you think they're not in this race? You think they're not thinking about New Orleans later on, and next year, I should say.
What a football game.
It's the darndest football game I've seen. I can't remember a better football game.
And think what this does to Atlanta with the Rams losing to Miami at the moment. If that lasts, the Falcons will have sole possession of first place.
Strong cut up inside, a good pull by Scott. Thielman did a good job inside. Look at this. That'll be some airport. The new airport's going to be a little bit jammed down in Atlanta, isn't it?
Atlanta 33, St. Louis 27. The Cardinals had them 24-6 at one time. Executive producer Charles Milton III, produced by Robert Stinner, and keep them coming like this, Bob.
Well, they wrote a good script, didn't they?
Sandy Grossman was responsible for those tremendous pictures we had all day. Joan Bushano, associate producer, and the rest to help make it so enjoyable.
There's nothing like winning, is there?
Tell it all. So from Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Pat Summerall saying so long for Tom Brookshire. The NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.